Welcome to the Ridgecrest Lost and Found podcast. My name is Logan.
I'm Steven.
And today we have a repeat guest, a repeat expert of the pod, as they say. Nick Wilson is in it. How do we feel?
I feel great. I'm the self-proclaimed number one fan, and I'll tell Chris White that any day.
He can just jam it in his sock drawer.
That's right.
I don't know what that means.
Chris White did bring us the souvenir for the...
Yeah, but we have a Nick Wilson.
That's true. That's true. Nick was the first one to bring something.
That is
Technically, Logan brought it, but
yeah, but
he's honest too.
But we weren't going to take any of his lures. I mean, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. Okay, I retract that statement.
I'll buy you lunch to win the spot or something.
You know how Yeti now all these companies have a YouTube channel where they make little mini documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Yeti was one of the first. They've got a video. Have you seen any of them?
Mm-mm. There's not the Yeti ones.
There's one. It's probably 5 or 6 years old at this point. And I was just getting into like serious fishing stuff, and it was a picture of probably a 9-year-old kid holding a freaking giant of a fish. And the video is about this kid who was fishing at a lake in Austin. He's based out of Austin, Texas, is where his family lives. And he fishes the big river that goes through the city of Austin, but not on the river, on a lake. He caught I believe it's the state record bass, and it is a
Mondo.
Huge.
In Texas, it would have to be very large.
It looks like he's having trouble holding it up.
Yeah.
But the point of the story is about how this little kid loves to fish. Now kids don't fish anymore these days, blah, blah, blah. And how people think that he's faking it because they think, the whole thing, he's holding the fish out.
Hold it out in front of
and
you.
all that stuff. But it was a huge fish. But the other part of the video was about how he only fishes for giant bass, and he uses massive swim baits.
Oh.
And that was the whole thing about how, like, him and his buddies, and when they film it, he's probably 11 or something.
It's like hard to catch.
He's just, and they're these
Ooh.
swim baits. I mean, this is exaggerated, but they're probably
there's some that are
they're
12,
huge,
14 inches
and they're
long.
expensive. Is all like hundreds of dollars.
Like the only reason I don't use them is because I have a very addictive personality when it comes to hobbies.
Yeah.
And like if I go for something, I got to catch myself.
Go
I want
all
the
in.
best of the best.
Yeah.
More money you spend, better you'll be kind of guy,
Yeah.
which I had to catch. So like I just flat will not let myself go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing is like you will not catch small fish because the bait is smaller or it's bigger than the fish.
Most of the fish.
But if there's a big bass, he'll go after that
he'll
joker.
come get it.
Yeah.
That's the only fishing thing we're going to talk about. We told Steven we weren't going to talk about fishing.
No, I'm not like anti-fishing.
I know.
I just have nothing to add.
I don't. Why did I even bring that up? It doesn't matter.
Because the lures, I think.
We started talking about
That's because I was like, what if Nick brought us like a $200 swim bait and just hung it by the
You ain't got to worry about that because I don't have any. It ain't my thing.
That's awesome. All right. So, is there another icebreaker, or we should just get into what we're going to get into?
Let's just get into it. I feel like I saw
We're gonna
Nick's
go.
notes. There's going to be a good
So the last time you were on here, we talked about fishing and other stuff, but at the very beginning you wanted to give comments to our episodes.
Correct.
A review of sorts.
Yeah, a little recap.
And so we decided that this one, we're pretty close. You're not gonna be number 25, but you're gonna be pretty close.
I think 24.
That's what I'm saying. That's close.
We could just call it a year in review.
A year in review.
Because we are in December.
Yes.
Yeah.
Podcast started this year.
And so I thought what we would do is we would just go through starting. So what episode were you on? Was it like
I can
Yeah.
I'd have to look
whatever
back
episode
on.
Nick was on to today?
Yeah, I think I have a comment or note on pretty much all of them.
So
That's good.
At least one hot take from each one.
I can't wait.
Some of them are really good. Some of them are just like, I'm going to say it and you're going to be like, yep, moving right along. I mean, some of them I think you'll
I can't
agree
wait.
with.
I think it's going to be good.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. And they may or may not be in any particular order.
We don't even know what episode yours was.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It'll be fine.
So, because I'll be bouncing all over the place. Because as my notes went, I was all over the place.
Spotify does not give episode numbers.
No, you have to write down. You'd have to go to the Spotify for Podcasters app.
Yeah.
I was episode 10.
There you go.
He was right after the
I was right after Ryan's board
games.
So he was 9, I was 10.
We got to get Ryan back on.
We got to play board games.
I know. I got to do it.
We literally tested the overhead rig for the charity stream that I did, and it worked great.
Oh, like the straight down deal. Gotcha.
Yeah, we had a whole podcast. Can't see this, but behind where our cameras are shot, there's a lot of floor space in the studio, and we had a couple tables set up, and we did a 24-hour charity stream in here that we do every year. That I do every year with your friends. With
your brother involved in that one?
No,
but you and some friends do.
Me and some friends.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And we just played a couple of board games that we've talked about on the podcast for 24 hours, and it was a great time.
Take a lot of coffee for me to stay up that long.
Snacks.
A lot of snacks.
We had a lot of snacks.
There you go.
Good snacks.
Good snacks.
I do well. I can stay up 24 hours if like the next day and a half are just shot.
Oh,
like
schedule cleared.
Yeah, because I'm sleeping.
Yeah, for sure.
If that's the case, I'll do great staying up all night. Mm-hmm. The people that stay up all night and then go to like work the next day, and then maybe stay up to 9 or 10 that night. I don't know how people do it.
Yeah, like people that work night shift.
We did it 5 p.m. Friday to 5 p.m. Saturday, and so by the time we tore down everything and cleaned up the room, it was about 6. So I went home, crashed, and then woke up and went to church the next day. That was
so
rough.
But you still got a bunch of hours of sleep.
I mean, it's me, so
you partially caught up.
Yeah.
The crash was not a gentle one. It was more so just like I fell asleep and then woke up several times, and then, it was one of those kinds of things.
The whole thing.
It was a gradual crash.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us your favorite episode so far and then get into it, or should we just go episode by episode?
Other than the episode that you were in.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Man, I don't know that I have a favorite other than I like Chris White's episode, but it's because I know Chris more than anyone else really you've had on. Big fan of Dave Thomas though.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a really good one too. So I'm not gonna pick a favorite.
That's fine.
I'll just shout out them too because they're likely to listen to this one.
There you go. All right, so I guess start wherever you want to.
Yeah,
we'll just get into it.
Literally, my notes are
because we may have to jog some of my memory on some of these.
So I don't know the episode, don't know who said it. New Orleans got brought up, and literally in my notes I have New Orleans equals no good. It was y'all were talking about how
you're talking to me because I said I hate New Orleans. Yes. It's my least favorite city.
All right, so I mean, there's some decent food there. I'll agree with that. I've been in New Orleans twice. Went once before, like we went down there, ate lunch, got on a cruise ship. The other time we went for one of Megan's birthdays because she had some extended family that have a little like studio apartment we could stay for free. It was before we had kids, so we went for the weekend. And after that weekend of being in New Orleans, I told her, I was like, if I never come back here again, it will not hurt my feelings.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
New Orleans is only good for its airport.
Oh.
I do know quite a few people drive there to fly.
Yeah. You can get some cheaper flights in and out of there. So
there's one. Is New Orleans airport technically the Alexandria airport, or is that a different one?
Different.
I've been to the Alexandria one because of like a canceled flight or whatever.
Gotcha.
And that one was fine. Yeah. I can't stand it. I've been to New York. I've been to a lot of cities, and like out of all of these major metropolitan. Yes.
Metropolises.
Metropoli.
There you go.
New Orleans feels the dirtiest.
100%.
Yes.
And
it's underwater. It's below sea level. It's always nasty.
It's dirty. You know, I've done the French Quarter. I haven't done Mardi Gras. Don't want to.
No.
But I've done the French Quarter. I've done the whole, and I don't enjoy it. It feels sketchy and it feels dirty. And I know that's why people love it, and I'm very okay saying like it's not for me.
Yeah.
And the seminary was 100 years ago when it was built in a great part of town, which of course means now it's in the worst part of town. And so when I go to the seminary, it's just like, where are we?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
The only cool thing that happened, I mean, beignets, yes, muffalata somewhere. Yeah, that's all great. That's food. I can get food a lot of places.
Yes.
The only cool thing we did when we were there, we did like one of the little horse carriage tour things.
Yep.
And the guy that was driving it was really good about explaining like this house was built this time and this actor or actress owns this. And so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I said, take it or leave it.
Speaking of beignets, last time I went to Eats Diner, which is very close to here, the girl
That's like a place for you, isn't it? Y'all go there a good bit.
That's the place I go with my father-in-law, with
Yeah.
Glenn. That's kind of our breakfast spot. But our waitress was saying that they serve beignets now, and I haven't tried them. This is probably an upsell technique, but I'm just speaking what she said. She said that they were compared to
Cafe Du Monde.
Cafe Du Monde.
We can leave right now and go get some and make that call. If I'd have known, if you'd have told me that before I came here, I'd have brought them with me, just so we could do it
Next time.
Episode 50.
I don't know if I've ever had a bad beignet. Just
It's hard
because,
to mess up.
Yeah,
But I think that's the issue. Is like,
Yeah.
you're kind of splitting hairs here. It's powdered sugar and fried dough.
Yep.
sounds great.
I know.
Yeah,
We'll have to do a beignet
episode.
eat off,
Yeah.
taste off.
Maybe
I
you
need
should
to stop talking
do
about it.
sweet breakfast in general.
There we
'cause
go.
There's not gonna be a lot of places to get beignets
That's
around here.
right.
We should do a sweet breakfast episode. That sounds awesome.
Don't invite me for that one.
Yeah,
It's-
we'll do some
We'll
damage.
bring
to
back
that.
our breakfast expert, Tyler.
Yeah,
Holden, for that.
I'm a savory guy when it comes to breakfast.
I am too, but it's occasional sweet breakfast.
Yeah.
I pick up donuts every Sunday for the students,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a huge Donut Palace guy because I'm lived in Madison my whole life, and so like
Which one is that on?
that's the one
Bozeman?
that's on Bozeman,
Yeah.
and it's over by Riptide and
Yeah.
Guns and Gear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unashamed. It's the best. Like I like Krispy Kreme. Don't get me wrong, and I like Shipley's. Don't get me wrong, but I love Donut Palace.
Yeah.
But
What
Sunday
is it
morning,
about Donut Palace thing?
The sausage, egg, and cheese kolache.
those are so good.
It's
Their
not a donut.
donuts are Shipley's is more. It's not a cakey donut, but it's a thicker dough. Like it's more substantial. The Donut Palace is more like a Krispy Kreme, where it's really light and
Fluffy.
airy.
Yeah.
Fluffy's a good word.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to say, I keep getting off track, is the glazed donuts were hot and fresh. Like they just glazed them and pulled them out,
Yeah.
and I was like, "This is something." I could eat if I had hot and fresh donuts. A dozen would be light work.
Absolutely. And that's something that's funny because I've always said that about donuts too. Is like when I worked at Site One, we'd have vendors drop off
All the
donuts
time.
all the time, and I was always the guy who's like, no, "I'm good, no, thank you."
Yeah.
Uncle Si from Duck Commander, when that show came out back in the day, said it best when he was like, "You give me hot donuts, I could probably eat 3 or 4 dozen. You
Yeah.
give me cold donuts, it'd be a struggle to eat 3."
Yeah.
And I feel that. So I'm just not a huge donut fan, but if they're hot,
Mm.
I have zero control.
Yeah,
Zero.
That's true.
All right. Next. New Orleans turned into donuts somehow.
Normal. This is so
It's
normal.
normal here.
My next one is I literally wrote the chicken tears to talk about chicken.
Where does chicken pox land in your chicken tier?
That still messes you up, doesn't it?
It's so funny.
It was so funny to me when it's like the egg was on there.
I know.
Like I'm a huge egg fan, but I don't know if it needs to be on a chicken tier list.
No, like it doesn't. But
The egg is what messed me up because
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, eggs may be in my top food. ever.
Absolutely.
yeah,
But I was like, it's not a chicken
It's
dish.
not a chicken dish.
it was.
Or is it?
It was
messed
just one
me
that we
up.
found last minute.
Yeah. It was funny.
because like they were talking over there, and I was just looking, and I was just looking through different tier lists, and I saw one that had like an egg, and I was like, wait, and then I just saw more, and I was like, oh, they're just doing literal words with chicken.
Yeah.
Anything related to a chicken.
I just thought that was the funniest.
But
thing.
chicken pox, I was one of those weird people that had it twice, which they say, "Oh, you can't have it
Oh,
twice."
really?
It's like, well, I don't remember. Call my mom; she'll tell you about it. But apparently, like the first time I had it, it was like, "Oh man, we got through this one. It was easy." And
Light
the second time was like,
W-
"Whoo!"
Was that you that texted me about chicken wings on the tier list and how it was so low?
Probably so.
Probably. It was either you or Chris.
I don't know. I know that
I can't remember.
that wings are really, really, really high on my tier list
Okay.
personally. Only bone-in wings. Not a boneless guy. I'll eat them if they're there.
They're
I'm
basically
getting-
just sauced nuggets.
They're nuggets with sauce on them.
Yeah.
They're not a wing.
I understand you saying that, but I mean, I still love a good boneless wing
They're
because
good.
you're eating chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
They're good, but when you say wing,
I agree.
I don't think bone. It's a nugget, like
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the wing?
flats, for sure.
Do you know anybody who eats tips?
I feel like they're like the free toothpick,
Yeah.
if you need it. But no. I mean,
I know people that like Like if I get an actual chicken wing and I'm cutting it myself,
Yeah.
I'm throwing that out. I'm not even
Oh,
cooking them.
yeah, I cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know people that'll actually sauce and either fry or smoke
No.
the tip.
No. And my public service announcement is we need to quit splitting wings in half and charging them like it's 2 wings. Like, dude, just
That's one wing.
yeah.
one-
Why am I paying $1.50 for this half wing here? That's wings are so expensive too. Anyway. That's how I feel. Wings should have been higher.
Okay, what's your entire? Did you say you had the whole tier
No.
list?
I just had where wings and nuggets rate on that. Nuggets would be really high, but
What?
Chick-fil-A nuggets only.
Give me your favorite.
I agree with that.
Your favorite local place to get wings and your favorite all-time place to get wings, and why are both of them Wingstop?
Neither of them are Wingstop.
Really?
Neither of them are Wingstop. Wingstop is great. I like Wingstop. I really do.
I think it's middle of the road. I think it's a good.
I tried their chicken sandwich because they had a buy one get one.
Oh, I don't know if I would have done that.
It was a bad choice. It
I
was
don't know if I would
horrible.
have done that.
Well, I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it was because I ordered whenever I get wings there, which is twice. I get the lemon pepper, whatever.
That's your go-to lemon pepper?
Just because
Lemon pepper wings or lemon pepper fries?
I tried both.
Okay.
So that's what it was. I didn't get wings. I got the sandwich, and so I tried lemon pepper fries.
Mm-hmm.
They put lemon pepper on everything in my order,
Mm.
so all of it just tasted like lemon, including the chicken sandwich.
I love lemon pepper on fish. That's about it, though.
Yeah.
Like a good salmon.
I can get down with that.
I'm not a big like sauce guy with wings or with barbecue.
You like naked wings?
Or you like dry rub or something?
Dry rub
Okay.
is usually.
I'm with you.
When it comes to barbecue, I'm a big fan of dry rub,
Yeah.
especially like ribs. I don't want wet ribs.
I don't.
Yeah.
I used to love
Memphis
wet ribs. I
problems.
don't. But I like dry ribs now.
Yeah.
Favorite wing place, and then I want to get into sauces.
Favorite wing place of all time?
The place you're going to go to here, because I assume your
Here.
favorite place is in Memphis.
Yeah.
That's an assumption.
Oh, yeah. Here, man, I haven't found one I'm just crazy about.
Mhm.
I'll give you 2 that I really like here though. Soulshine has really good wings, and my wife loves Soulshine pizza.
I will always go to Soul Shine and get a pizza, so I've never gotten their
Yeah, you
wings.
start your pizza with a couple wings next time, and you want the I think they're called sriracha garlic or something.
Okay.
Yeah, they're super
Okay.
good. They're good. Soulshine has good wings here locally. If I want just like your traditional fried chicken wing,
Mm-hmm.
best smoked wings from a guy that grew up in Memphis, probably that I've ever had, are at Pig and Pint in Fondren.
Pig and
Yeah.
Pint's good.
Their smoked wings are super good, and I like smoked wings. Like if I cook wings at home, I do smoked wings.
Yeah.
My favorite wing place of all time is a tie between 2 places in Memphis.
Mhm.
One is called Debo's, and one is called Mr. P's.
I've heard of Debo's. I haven't
They
heard
have
of
a
Mr.
couple locations each in Memphis, and most of them are in parts of town where you gotta be very careful.
Mhm.
But they have really good wings.
Yeah.
Really good wings. All right, sauce man. Oh, hang on. While we're talking chicken, something about Cane's. You told me.
No,
to
we'll get
remind
to that
you of.
afterwards.
Okay.
I'm fully into Wingtown right
All
now.
right, let's go.
I want to hear sauces. I'm gonna prep you for this next question because we've talked about it a lot. I want to hear your favorite wing sauces, and we'll do ours. And then 2, why does Madison the city fail at having good barbecue/wings? I just feel like we should have an incredible barbecue scene, and we don't. I'm not saying we have bad barbecue places.
We have bad barbecue places.
Thank
there,
you.
I said it.
Our scene is awful.
Yes.
Anyway, be working on that while you tell me your favorite sauces.
Wing sauces.
I'll give you mine. Asian Zing. Any iteration of Asian Zing is my favorite.
It's in my top couple. We keep literally at my house. We do not have a bottle of Asian Zing Buffalo Wild Wings sauce in our refrigerator pantry or something. Because we put it on grilled chicken. We put it on chicken nuggets. I've made pizzas with it. Like
And Asian Zing will knock your socks off
it's
sometimes.
spicier than you
Yeah.
think it is, but we eat it on. It doesn't have to go on a wing. It can go on any chicken.
Mhm.
Give me some examples of sauces.
Like Megan's favorite is a Parmesan garlic. She's just like that. You have
I would
us.
probably enjoy that, like in certain
If
I would
you
have to
like a
move
lemon
for it.
pepper or dry rub, you'd like a garlic parmesan because it's kind of sweet-ish, but it's
Yeah.
got a little bit of a tang
I don't do
to it.
spicy, so like I'm more of a mild guy.
Don't get garlic parmesan at Buffalo Wild Wings. In my opinion, that's the worst garlic parmesan. And I know that's stepping on toes. But
I thought you
their
meant because it was
sauce-
spicy.
No, because it's just like so much. It's way overpowering.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Soul Shine's garlic parmesan is very good because it has actual like pieces of garlic in it
Okay.
and parmesan, and it's good.
You're not changing my mind. You're bringing me up on Soul Shine wings.
They're great.
I've never even had them.
Megan's like one of her top favorite restaurants.
Soul Shine is one of my.
Soul Shine is
I
way
said that
up
Soul
there.
Shine's my favorite local pizza spot.
And I think that's in my notes, but I strongly agree that Soul Shine and Pizza Shack are
It's been a minute since I've been to Soul Shine, but
top tier.
I like it. It's just
If
been
I'm-
a very long time.
This is what I said.
It's
If
good.
I want if I'm feeling like just a pepperoni pizza and I don't want like Domino's, I'm going to Pizza Shack. If I want like a really good pepperoni pizza, I'm going to Pizza Shack. If I want like a more nuanced pizza,
Yeah.
like a barbecue chicken
Yep.
or a whatever, I'm going to Soul Shine.
Well, and that's Megan gets the barbecue chicken pizza at Soul Shine.
Me and Megan
every
are like
time.
this.
They are.
We are two
They-
peas in a pod.
You're like this. I need
We
to
feel the
move my
same.
hand.
Well,
Man,
I
the odds
used to
be
always do
ever in your
this, and
favor.
that has connotations. So
Whoa.
it's supposed to be we're like this. We're like
I
right
thought you
next
did
to
like
each
the
other.
Hunger Games thing.
That's
No.
what I was getting at. The odds be.
we're
Yeah,
like,
mhm.
whatever.
What
No.
was the next? Oh, Madison's barbecue scene flat out sucks.
It's terrible.
And I don't know why. Like,
Yeah.
Tay's,
What's done?
yeah.
Taze is done. Now
It
it's
was
Gator.
never great. Dickie's barbecue is maybe the worst barbecue I've ever had.
I can't
I
stand it.
do not like Dickie's. Full Moon. I know these Alabama people are crazy about Full Moon because it started there, and you know how it is. Like the original one's always the best. That's fine, whatever. I've had Full Moon twice. The first time I had it, we had it catered at work. I ate everything, and me and a buddy of mine were sitting there talking about it, and I said, "That's great, and the best thing's the mac and cheese." If it's a barbecue joint, the best thing's the mac and cheese. That means the barbecue's not that great.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I thought Full Moon was okay.
it's okay.
I think it's okay.
It's okay. If you said, "Hey man, you want to meet me for lunch at Full Moon?" Yeah, we
It's-
go.
it's-
I'll
it's-
find something to
Yeah,
eat there.
it's quick. It's got a drive through.
Yeah.
It's good for what it is.
But Pig and Pint, if you're listening, please move to Madison.
Far and away the best.
Yeah. By far.
Now I will say I went. It was almost like a Chick-fil-A level travesty, meaning I went there and I got a combo of. I think I got smoked chicken and ribs. My ribs were charcoal burnt.
That's terrible news.
Like it was like inedible
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And that's never I've been to Pig and Pint at least a dozen times.
Mhm.
And their ribs were like they must have had a new guy working and they just shredded them. And then I've been since then and it was perfect.
Yeah.
It's just one of those weird things.
I've only been once, but it was good.
I encourage you to go again.
Yeah.
I know it's Fondren and it's kind of far or whatever.
My two favorite places for barbecue are Pig and Pint and Sonny's.
On 471.
My dad
80.
loves Sonny's.
The one in Brandon Pearl. That's 80, isn't it?
There's one on 471.
There may be. I'm not
No,
saying.
just kidding. That's different. I'm thinking that's Smokehouse Barbecue. Sorry.
No,
I've never been to Sonny's.
Sonny's is a chain,
Yeah.
but it's very good.
Okay.
It's very
That's my dad's go to for barbecue.
Barbecue.
Eating out.
Gotcha.
like when we would go to Pearl for like softball stuff. You know, there's like the Pearl Municipal Complex with the golf course.
Mhm.
If you keep going into Brandon, you'll
Okay.
get to Sonny's. It's on the left on
Gotcha.
80. So we'd always go there, and it's very good. But that's like my favorite chain style because you know what you're going to get. It's always going to be very good.
Mhm.
But Pig and Pint, that's just good barbecue.
Yeah, Pig and Pint. I like Pig and Pint because it's like it's good traditional barbecue with a new swanky spin on it. Like one of my favorite things to get there is their tacos. It's like, wait a minute, you're getting tacos at Pig and Pint? It's like,
I wanna
yeah,
say
because
I
you
got-
can get a.
I want to say I got nachos when I went.
They're
The
not
nachos are good.
I'm gonna up both of you. If you next time you go get Fondren fries, it's nachos over
Fondren-
fries
I've had the
instead of
Fondren
chips.
fries.
That
And
sounds
it's-
fantastic.
Yeah, it's over.
There's,
French fries.
yeah.
It's barbecue nachos
Yeah.
with a French fry base instead. It's really that's what Megan always gets.
But I didn't love Little Willie's when it was over here.
No.
I tried. What's the new one? Booze or Moose or?
booze.
It's okay.
I hadn't been in that one.
It's better than Little Willie's.
Okay.
So I went in there and
I got Little Willie's. I tried it once. I got smoked wings at Little Willie's, and I felt like I was eating the log from the smoker. I was like, that's too much smoke. I'm good.
yeah.
So anyway,
Why do you think, back to the original question, why do you think it is that barbecue places fail here or aren't very good?
I'm going to go around the world. I think it's very difficult to do. First off, I think to get a good smoke and deal with that is very difficult to do, and it takes a lot of work. I think having a business that sells meat, like smoked meats, it's just expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I think there's a lot of places that probably could do it. They don't want to deal with the high rent of living in Madison.
Yep.
And then your margins on meat is just probably terrible. I mean, you're thinking all that brisket you're making and
ribs, chicken, it's all expensive. Yeah.
Do you think that any of that has to do? Do you think it's hard to start a new restaurant / food business in Madison because of how habit driven
probably
people seem to be here?
Because I think ever since Local 463 moved away from Colony Market area, every place that's been there has struggled.
And there's been like 5. Or not really.
Struggled.
There's been multiple restaurants.
And I think,
what percentage of restaurants fail in the first year?
Yeah.
I mean, it's some crazy number, like worldwide or nationwide, whatever. But
and part of it is there's a ton of restaurants in Madison. We act like there's nothing to do in Madison,
and you eat at the same places all the time. But there's a lot. Yeah.
There's a lot of places, and so
and there's a lot of really good food already in Madison. So there's just a lot of competition. I feel like there's not a lot of barbecue competition. But there's a lot of restaurant competition.
But if you were to go to like a Morton or a Pelahatchie, I don't know, Pelahatchie's kind of big, but
It's growing.
but a lot of those places, you have like 2 places to eat besides like a McDonald's. You've got like 2 sit down places that you go. Like Bolton has a place I just heard about that's open Friday night and Saturday night, and it's slammed.
What's the name of it?
It's like B Steakhouse.
Yeah, steak joint.
Apparently,
some friends of mine went there, so it was great.
Apparently, it's fantastic. But places like that, when it's the only place to go and it's good, it can do really well.
Yeah.
But here, it's just, I think it's very saturated. I think barbecue is very difficult to do really well. And I would be curious to talk to some, like a Pig and Pint, and say, like, how are you making your money? Like, are you making it on alcohol? Are you making it on drinks? Is it like because your chicken's really cheap and it kind of covers other things?
Right.
I'd just be interested in it.
Be interested in that.
That's
Because I know when I go to Kroger and I try to buy a brisket, I'm like, holy smokes, that's expensive.
I know. I always I've only smoked brisket a couple, and I love brisket, and I've figured out how to cook it myself. But it's like, man, if you ain't having it for like Christmas, you can't do it. It's so much meat too for a family. It's a lot of food. So if you're not, like, I think for Wyatt's 1-year-old birthday party, when we had I went and got one smoked brisket. You know what I mean? But it's expensive. I look at them at Sam's all the time. Like, it's beautiful. And I flip it over. It's like $95. Never mind.
Of course, the other side of that is you can get a pork shoulder and feed 100 people. That's exaggeration.
$12.99.
Yes. And so maybe that's where all these guys are making their money, are these pulled pork sandwiches.
Probably so.
Yeah.
And they're like, this cost me $1 to make.
Yeah, that, or you go in there and you get the pulled pork salad or something, and it's $15.99. They got 3 cents worth of meat on it. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Anyway,
that
was good. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah. This one won't take long. I just had like 3 comments on the golf ball tier list.
okay.
And for people that don't know, I've been in and around the golf business
He
for
has
a long
some
time.
experience.
Okay.
Not on the side of swinging golf clubs, but on the side of taking care of golf courses. So anyway, Titleist, hands down, no questions, the #1 ball in golf for ages. If I were doing that ranking, it would have been Titleist, and Vice would have been second. Vice came on scene not long ago. I hate it that they got so popular because they've increased their price. When they first came out, they were like direct to consumer, pretty cheap. They have some really cool colors too, and I'm a big fan of, if I do play golf, I want like a wild color ball just to be that guy.
Just to be that guy.
And they've got like neon, yellow, orange, pink. They have what are called Vice Speckled series, which literally looks like you kind of like, you can get like a pink one and it looks like someone just like splatter black paint all over it, or a yellow. Anyway, Titleist and Vice. And then the only other comment on that I had was when I worked at Old Waverly in West Point, the amigos that worked there they would try to sell golf balls that we'd find, like, we work on a golf course, dude, you'd find tons of golf balls. Like, I hadn't paid for golf balls in years.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, y'all were talking about Pinnacle golf balls.
Yeah.
And one of them came up to me one day and he was like, "Hey, you know about golf?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Is this one worth any money?" And I said, "Well, what is it?" And he said, "It's a Pinnacle." And I said, they're not that great.
Yeah.
So anyway,
The old Pinnacles.
the next two things on my list won't take any time at all. But the third one, I'm just going to tell y'all to hold your seats for, because we're going to dive back into something.
Can't wait.
My next comment was Dave Thomas is the man. That's just a great episode.
Yep.
He's a great guy. He gave me a shout out, so I'm giving him a shout out wherever my camera. There it is.
Yep, that's you.
Kylie Young. So what's the relation?
That's Megan's grandfather.
On
Mom's side.
Jin's side.
Jin's dad.
Gotcha. Never knew him. I've heard y'all talk about him. I've probably seen him at a birthday party or something.
You
I
seen
know
him standing around.
he was at Cash's baptism. Great story. Really, like, I thought it was a cool story. It's just a good episode.
He's a
in
good
general.
dude.
Cereal.
Here we go.
Y'all, I'm just saying my bracket would have been
I
180 degrees different.
I got a text from Nick on this bracket.
Yeah.
Because I remember.
180 degrees different.
Okay.
Because I'm not a chocolate person.
Oh man.
So all these Cocoa Crisp and Cookie Crisp and Count Chocula and all this stuff that Adam was over here like salivating over, I'd have thrown them in the trash on the first
and guess
round.
what we kicked out immediately? Honey Nut Cheerios.
Is that your
number one cereal of all time?
You basic.
And I don't even buy or eat cereal anymore. I haven't eaten cereal in years. But if you told me pick a cereal, it's Honey Nut Cheerios.
It's just good.
And specifically, I used to put them. We won't get into if you do milk or cereal first in the bowl because it's cereal, right?
Of course.
Okay, just making sure there's no psychopaths.
Steven didn't
in
say
here.
anything.
He didn't
It's
answer.
cereal first.
Okay,
I'm not a psychopath.
okay. Cereal, milk, and then drizzle some like fresh honey on top of Honey Nut Cheerios.
Okay, I never did that.
Yeah.
I'm a Honey Nut Cheerios fan. I don't like chocolate cereal. Yeah, that's that.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
I'm not a chocolate person. Last thing I want is something that's artificially chocolate flavored, in my opinion. And
Does Megan like chocolate cereal? Dang it.
Which one's
Megan would have
That's
picked.
the only thing me and Megan differ on.
She would have picked Frosted. What are they called?
Frosted Flakes?
Frosted
Mini Wheats?
Mini Wheats.
Yeah.
When she was pregnant with Charlie,
She
I
took
hate
them
to
down.
out her on this,
She
but
took 'em
every
down.
night she brought the box to the bed. She didn't eat them with milk. She'd just pop them like just.
So
eat 'em.
that was my hot take. It's not really hot about it. I don't like Frosted Mini Wheats in milk. I like them as their own little dry
I don't
snack.
like them in milk either because they turn into a sponge and
Yeah.
like a wet sponge.
I
They're
agree.
nasty.
I agree with that.
I don't really like them.
Did you say it was Cocoa Krispies or Cocoa Pebbles that was your go-to?
Adam was
Trash.
Pebbles. Shut up. Cocoa Krispies was mine. Cocoa Pebbles was Adam. I mean, it was the epitome of splitting hairs.
Yeah, I'm like a Honey Nut Cheerios is number one, and if I had to pick, like, I don't care about any other cereal. If I had to pick another one, it'd probably be like I like Frosted Flakes. I mean, I can get down with that, or like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is good.
And then the fruity ones, like, I mean, I'll eat Fruit Loops, but other than that, I don't.
So you like when you go to a hotel, you just named like the four cereals.
The
that are at
ones
a
that are in the
hotel.
little small container. Yeah, that's me. But
And
plain Cheerios, like original OG Cheerios, no, them nasty.
No, they're gross.
At this point, OG Cheerios are for babies.
Yeah, they're for little-
toddlers.
Yeah, they're for toddlers.
That's
Charlie
what-
won't even eat them.
She too grown.
That's right. That's right. I feel like you had a thought.
Oh. I had a bowl of Cocoa Pebbles a few days ago. It was fine. It was just, I feel like every chocolate cereal is the same. And,
I'm not denying that.
Amen.
Yeah, and it was fine. Like I'm not. I don't know.
That means it was mediocre.
But I like all of the chocolate cereals.
Okay.
That's what
That's
we're getting at.
Yeah, that's what we learned on the tier list when they steamrolled every single.
Everything. It was
Yeah.
so jaded because
Yeah.
you and Adam both like chocolate cereals.
Yeah. But I watched a video where they were doing a ranking of every ice cream flavor,
Mhm.
and that was what happened on that video was they love peanut butter ice cream. And so forgot what it was. It was like Reese's Briars just took it all the way, and it beat Bluebell. It beat everything because it was peanut butter.
No.
And it was like, okay, well, eventually you have to acknowledge your bias, and I say that knowing that I went chocolate all the way.
That was the mistake of that tier list, was that there was just a huge chocolate bias with a 2-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
And so it carried everything.
But part of that was it wasn't a tier list; it was a bracket fight. And that was the issue, because I said on the episode, Honey Nut Cheerios should have made it way further.
Yeah.
But I think it went up against like Cocoa Pebbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the first round, so y'all were like, "Hook, get out of here!" I was like, "You got 13 other chocolate cereals to choose from."
I know.
Look,
anyway,
I'm with you.
Thank you.
I was the
you
one
did,
that
you got outvoted a lot.
You
in that
got
one.
they just kicked you to the
they did.
They beat you
but
up.
I got the last word because I manipulated the last couple rounds to where I got my way, and Reese's Puffs won.
Yeah.
Which I was happy to vote Reese's Puffs.
That's
if I had to pick a chocolate cereal, it would be Reese's Puffs because I'm a huge peanut butter fan.
Yeah. He gets it.
And in ice cream, everybody thinks I'm crazy when they're like, "What's your favorite ice cream?" And I'm like, "Man, I like all that crazy stuff, but it is really hard to beat the versatility and just the nostalgia of Bluebell homemade vanilla ice cream."
My favorite ice cream is vanilla, hands down.
I love it. I can do anything. I mean, if you want caramel, chocolate, peanut butter,
throw it in.
Yeah,
we can do it.
So I really grew up not eating a lot of like at home ice cream. I would go do a Frosty or a milkshake or whatever. Baskin Robbins. Megan grew up all
at home
Bluebell. So they're huge Bluebell people. And so obviously we started dating. I'm not mad at Bluebell at all. So I jumped right on the Bluebell train. Now I'll never eat Bluebell again. Do you know why?
Whoa.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because Tillamook makes the best ice cream.
Who?
Tillamook.
Have you had Bluebell Christmas cookie?
I haven't.
Oh my
then
gosh.
You need to go to Kroger.
That is Anna's go-to.
That'll change your mind on Bluebell.
We stock up on Christmas cookie.
It has like 4 different types of cookie in it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm not, dude.
I'm not
Mr. Vanilla.
I shouldn't have said I'll never eat Bluebell again, but I
will
wanted
bring
to
you
say
Christmas cookie.
Tillamook is far and away.
Where do we get Tillamook?
You get it Kroger.
Sullivan's?
Kroger. Actually, Sullivan's doesn't have it. Tillamook is based out of Oregon. It's a really creamy. They make really good cheese.
Okay.
Like you would enjoy eating and cooking with their cheese. It's really creamy. But they make ice cream, and the ice cream is just nasty.
I'm all about it. I'll swap you a half gallon of Bluebell Christmas cookie.
Is it on shelves right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because we had it at Thanksgiving. Someone brought it for Thanksgiving.
What, Christmas cookie?
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't eat any?
Mm-mm.
Dude, I'm seriously, it's.
I need to get Anna a thing of that because that's her favorite ice cream.
That's her go-to. Yeah. I'm a big vanilla ice cream guy.
One thing that Bluebell's been doing lately, and I'm not for, is like the last like 4 fancy flavors they've come up with have had waffle cone in it.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm not a huge fan of that.
Mm-mm.
I'm not against it, but I'm not, like, it's not a draw. It's just kind of there.
To me, it's like you're pulling a Chick-fil-A putting pimento cheese. It's like, why? There's so many better things to put in there than bits of waffle
I did
cone.
not even try that sandwich, by the way.
But I don't like pimento cheese.
Me neither.
See, I do like pimento cheese, but it's just when you eat it, it's like, this is fine, but why these things?
Yeah.
It just feels like they threw together a bunch of stuff and we're like, let's just make it a menu item.
Then they have like honey and jalapenos and
I get mine without jalapenos, obviously.
Yeah, you didn't like that.
Oh yeah.
But it's just a super random sandwich. It doesn't really go together. It's just all of these components are fine.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't go.
Pimento cheese for me, like there's a couple I've had that I'm okay with, but like it's an hors d'oeuvre, an appetizer. At Christmas, you got some chicken salad, some pimento cheese, some cheese and crackers, that kind of stuff. I don't want to like pimento cheese sandwiches. No.
Speaking of pimento cheese, I'm glad you brought it up. So we tried to go to London this past week. And our flight got canceled when we were in Atlanta. Our flight out of Atlanta to go there, and
that's terrible.
Yeah, we would have lost a day and a half of our trip, and so
y'all bailed.
We decided take the refund opportunity and just try again some other time.
They just rain check you, plane ticket kind of deal.
Yeah.
Did you fly out of Jackson or did you drive to Atlanta?
We flew out of Jackson. So they gave us like $150 worth of meal vouchers. Which we used every penny
of, which isn't hard to do in the airport.
Yeah. We ate at Bobby Flay's burger place.
Okay.
Oh.
And
in the Atlanta airport?
In the Atlanta airport. And he has a specialty sauce. I think it's just called Bobby's sauce.
Mm.
It tastes like a pimento cheese sauce. Like, it's good.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, but we don't like pimento cheese.
It's weird to describe, but like I thought it was really good. I think pimento cheese is fine, but I thought that was really good. Like dipping fries in it. It was.
I'd try it. I mean, I'm a sauce guy. I'll try it.
Yeah,
I'm the
I thought
guy.
it was really good.
Chick-fil-A has 19 sauces in front of
Head to head,
head to head.
best, not chef, TV personality chef. Guy Fieri, Bobby Flay.
You're not gonna put Gordon Ramsay in there?
No, because I feel like that's two
What about
completely
Emerald
different things.
Lagasse?
I feel like those are Gordon.
Bang.
Gordon
Bam.
and Emerald.
You can't.
Guy
put-
Fieri.
Yeah, you can't put Guy Fieri against anybody and be like personality contest.
That's what I'm saying.
Guy Fieri, he
Wins.
exudes personality. He sweats personality.
Literally, we see him sweat all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I picked Guy Fieri because of the Camaro, the SS Camaro he drives. Big fan of that.
I do use one of his recipes. He makes a loaded potato soup recipe. It's very good.
Megan's making potato soup Friday. Just throwing that out there.
I'll be at the Wilson house Friday.
Come, she doesn't make a little pot. Come on. She's making chocolate covered peanuts too.
What is
So,
wrong with her? Oh
it's
my
Christmas.
god! Can't
Christmas
wait.
traditions.
Can't
Used
wait.
to every time that her mother, and her mom's come in town. But anytime her or her mom would make potato soup, her mom used to send, when me and Megan were dating, she would send us to McAllister's because you used to go buy bread bowls at McAllister's for 99 cents each. And we'd literally walk out there with like this huge, like 10 of them. Anyway, all right. Cereal took us to McAllister's bread bowls and potato soup. All right.
Oh, I love
The
potato soup.
fall tier list.
Okay.
I won that. I mean, hands down. I
Hands
won.
down, no doubt, Logan's list won. And I strongly agree because of two things, and I would add a third. He had hunting, he had chili.
Chili was a good one.
I nailed it.
I'm a huge, a tradition that I didn't even realize we had started is apparently a few years ago I made chili on Halloween, and we went to a friend's house and did trick or treat and all that. And I got told this year that, hey, are you making, Megan was like, you making chili for Halloween? I was like, huh? She's like, you always make chili for Halloween. And I was like, I sure am.
And you're like, that's
So
a
that's
tradition I
usually-
can get behind.
That's usually our first pot because, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not fall in Mississippi until Halloween. So that's usually my first pot of chili. The only other one I would add, hunting and fishing, can be extremely good in the fall. So that was just one I'd add. I don't even remember what the other ones were.
What?
Someone was talking about flannels and sweaters and whatever.
yeah, that was him.
No, that was
No.
Oh,
was,
I thought
Tyler.
yours was hoodies or something.
Tyler was hoodies.
Oh,
Mine was walking the dogs, fall weather.
Yours was just being outside, pretty much.
Mine was just being outside.
Which
yours
is- I
yours
get
was
down
just
with all
not
that, too.
sweating as much.
Not sweating,
Yeah,
yes.
and I had Christmas season and Thanksgiving Day.
You did get Christmas.
I did.
which is wild.
Which isn't really in fall.
Yes, it is.
Christmas season.
Christmas
Yeah,
season.
Okay, yeah.
That was my
okay.
argument. Because
That's
winter
right.
starts December 21st.
That's right. That's right.
What is your go-to like either starch or carb that goes with the chili? Like rice, cornbread, crackers.
Never rice. Are you a rice guy with
No,
chili?
but Megan is, and this makes me so
Never,
happy.
never.
This
I
makes me-
remember you saying that. You was like, "Oh, Megan likes rice," and I was like,
No,
What?
not just Megan.
her
Megan's
whole
entire family.
They're rolling. He's in there. He's a weirdo. I hope
But-
he's listening.
I feel like
Anyway, continue. Then I have an
not,
anecdote.
not rice. Cornbread is high on the list.
Okay.
Crackers, if that's the option, I'm fine with it. But for whatever reason, I don't know why. Typically here lately, anytime I make chili, I want tortilla chips with it. I don't know. I like
Oh.
tortilla chips.
I could
with
see
my
that
chili.
working.
And specifically on the border, tortilla chips because they're super salty and they're
Yeah.
a big chip.
Is your chili more
Next,
thick or more
next
soup
question,
or
because he's
soupy?
going to start asking about beans and meat ratios
I'm
and
not
all
doing
that.
that, but it's important for what I'm talking about. Is yours more soupy or is it more like thick, meaty chili?
That I make,
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty thick. Gonna be pretty
So
thick.
I think this has to do with Megan's family's chili
Soupy.
is soup is
So the rice is there for.
the liquid.
Mm-mm.
Yep, it's a whole
I feel
thing.
like
Chili's
it's not an
supposed-
episode of the podcast without you saying something that you strongly disagree with Megan's family.
Oh, he's hard.
Absolutely.
He's rough on his in-laws. But
Absolutely.
I've met most of them, and
And they
I've met
deserve it.
Roland.
Yeah.
He
and they deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, for some reason, man, tortilla chips with chili.
I could see that.
It's
working.
But you
really
see
good.
why I was asking, because if you
Yeah.
had a real soupy chili,
That
tortilla
would-
chips
no,
wouldn't
it'd
work.
be running off.
I know.
Yeah, no.
See, I
I
wasn't
do-
dogging on anybody. I was just
do-
asking a question.
I do like a little more beans in my chili than Logan, but not. No, I'm not like 10 cans of beans laid out kind of guy.
Yeah.
You're like maybe a half a can.
Yeah, no, I'm like one.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. And
Yeah.
if it's a small batch, I will go half a can.
Yeah, no, I can't. I have a recipe for chili. Like I made it years ago, and like one of the only things, like as I was making it, I wrote out my recipe the first time I made it, and I can't make a little chili. I make like a huge pot of chili. So I have a few cans.
When do you
of
add the beans in? Do you add them in later, or you do it from the get go?
No, they're a
Way
little
late,
later.
yeah.
So people think I'm crazy. When I start chili, it's a stick of butter in a pot, a whole bell pepper, a whole onion, and jalapeno and garlic that I dice and put in, and I saute that, and then I add meat and seasoning, and then all the tomato stuff, and then the beans, and let it do its thing.
I don't do bell pepper, but that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I do a little bell pepper, man.
My mom, I'll dish on my parents. My dad keeps a garden, and it's fantastic. He's really good at it. But one year,
You'll
he
dish on your parents, and the first thing you say is,
He's uplifting his father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting to it.
My dad's stronger than your dad.
He sure is. But for some reason, I don't know why this is, but he always plants bell peppers, and then he does jalapenos on the next row over. But one day he decided to do it on the same row, and he made the spiciest bell peppers. Like you couldn't eat them; they were so
Really?
spicy. And I get all we can think of is because he planted them right next to a bunch of jalapenos,
Cross pollinated. Yep.
and because you think of a bell pepper, it's sweet or it's
You can just eat it. Yeah, it has no spice.
and my mom bit into a bell pepper. I don't know what they were using. They may have just been eating bell
I might
peppers.
have put them on like a veggie
Yeah.
tray or something. Yeah.
And she went, "Holy smokes, that is hot!" And so it's one of those things they still talk. That was like 5 years
A
ago,
long time ago.
and every year she's like, "Buddy, you better not plant those things. You better. I'm not eating your bell peppers ever." Yeah, it was great.
Good stuff.
Yeah, she did that. She may have put it in spaghetti because one day she was talking about how she made the spiciest spaghetti of all time.
Might have been.
Who knows?
Anyway.
Next,
Biscuits.
that was a good episode.
That was a good episode. When it comes to fast food biscuits, I really don't. I haven't had any other ones than Chick-fil-A in a long time.
Yeah.
That was
Like,
what was so good for me was like actually like I can't tell you last time I had a Crystal's biscuit.
Oh, never. Yeah, it'd been. But
Yeah.
I do. I'd say my two favorite on the fast food side. My two favorite like breakfast bit. I mean, a chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A is really hard to beat. My second runner up to that would probably be the honey butter chicken biscuit from Whataburger. But the one I don't know. I think y'all got a dud because it did not do well.
Did it not?
No, I think y'all were all like, I don't know. You're talking about how dry it was.
It
and
was
I-
really,
something about it wasn't
but
right.
that's the issue is, and what we realized is, a honey butter chicken biscuit tastes way different than a dry plain biscuit from these places.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
Have you tried the Wendy's honey butter chicken biscuit?
No.
It's actually really good.
Is it good?
it's worth eating.
Yeah.
I give it a go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wendy's has good breakfast.
my favorite biscuit of all time is Megan's grandmother.
Of
She's
course.
passed now, but man, she could.
She could make it happen.
Dude, they were good. And Megan has the recipe. Megan's mom has the recipe.
Logan's
Megan's-
about to get the recipe.
I'll give it to you. It's
Logan still needs to make biscuits for Thanksgiving, and so he needs a good biscuit recipe.
I did not do that.
Yeah.
So it's one of them old school, like it's flour and lard and
Yeah.
that's about it. You know what I mean? But it's something about handling dough. So anyway, the funny story, Megan's mom's about got them figured out. I think the reason Granny was so good at it is she made them like every
Every day.
morning. So
Yeah.
she just a repetition. Megan's mom's getting a lot, like every time she makes them, they're a little bit better. Megan's made them a few, like Megan's given up. She's mad.
Because
and
she's like, I don't want to devote 20 years to figuring
and
this
here's
out.
you laugh, but this will really make you laugh. This is why she's mad. She stood in there one day, made a batch, like she's like, I'm gonna figure it out. It's like middle of the day. She makes them, pulls them out, takes a bite. She's like, oh my god, that's a hockey puck. Throws them away. Starts another batch. Gets she gets going with it. The dough's not doing right. She's like she's mad. Like it's ruined her Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah.
She throws her hands up. She's like, I'm done with this, blah, blah. So I worked at 2 different pizza places in high school that made like Soul Shine Pizza Shack type, made our own dough.
Your boy can work some dough, is
So I
what
know
he's
how to
saying.
I know what to do with dough. Like when we make pizza at home. So anyway, I go in there and I go to messing with this dough and I pull these biscuits out of the oven when they're done. And Megan is livid because they were close. They were good. And from that point though, I've just never done it again. I've just let it be.
Yeah.
I'm not, but man,
Because that's part of the thing is like everyone loves a good biscuit. You don't need to be eating biscuits every day. It doesn't need to be every morning.
Oh, and
they're
hers
just working
like,
it.
And when it comes to a biscuit, like, man, something about hers were like the best for biscuit and gravy. They were fluffy. They could, man.
Now you're speaking my language.
But there's like a memes going around that I've seen recently in short form video and all that. And it's like, biscuit and gravy is just the wildest idea. It's like, here's some dry flour with some wet flour on top.
Yep.
But it's great.
It's the best.
It's so good. Yeah. Big fan. Like I said, savory breakfast guy. When we were talking earlier before maybe we were recording or not.
Yeah, that's my go-to breakfast if I can. It's
If
good
calories
gravy.
didn't count,
Yeah.
I would eat biscuit and gravy every morning.
After we had that conversation, I went back to my mom and I was like, why did we just never do biscuits and gravy? And she was like, y'all just didn't ever like biscuits and gravy.
Yeah. It's not something young kids like. So
Yeah.
if you didn't establish it early.
And so, because I was like, because you love it, and like, who were we with? We were with Tyler, and Tyler likes it.
Tyler.
And I was like, we just never like go to Cracker Barrel or wherever that has biscuits and gravy. I'm never gonna get it, and it's just because I never did get it. I would go get a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, chicken biscuit. I would never get that.
It's something that I could say I have a place I would go and order it.
Yeah.
But
Whataburger has a
homemade.
good
Really?
biscuit and
But
gravy.
Is
see,
there-
if I go to Whataburger, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
Where is there a new Bojangles that's opening somewhere?
Yes.
Where?
In Madison. I
In
think.
Madison?
I heard that it was coming here.
I've heard that
Oh,
too.
it's come. It's not here.
Yeah, it's coming.
I've heard that too.
That Bojangles will do work.
Dude.
That Bojangles will work now.
There was one in Starkville when I lived in Starkville.
Mhm.
Cajun filet chicken biscuit with cheese in the morning will rock your world. The Bow Rounds, which
I've
is
never
there.
had Bojangles
Oh
before,
man,
so.
you need to go.
It's not even a cult. It's a movement.
It's good.
Like in Georgia and
Yeah.
like
It's good.
people
I'm telling
are.
Would you consider a movement bigger than a cult?
I feel like
A cult involves Kool-Aid and a movement doesn't. Like,
I
here,
feel like
drink this Kool-Aid.
what happens to a cult is usually they're pretty self-contained.
Yeah.
When it grows,
Oh.
I feel like it moves on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair. Like
Makes
in terms of size, yeah. But cult just is a very severe.
I feel like a
word.
cult would be like 100 or less.
Yeah. It's yeah.
I love
a lot
how
of
we're just, like,
connotations
all
come
over
with
the
Yeah.
place.
the word cult, but I guess cult following.
Yeah.
For a biscuit and gravy guy,
Yeah.
when Bojangles opens.
Do they have biscuits and gravy?
Yeah.
There's people.
And when we lived in Starkville, a lot of mornings for breakfast, if Megan was there, like, she's a big fan of biscuit, we would go to Bojangles.
Excellent.
And she would get biscuit and gravy, and I would get the Cajun filet biscuit, and we kind of,
The switch.
There's
yeah.
people that that don't live here that live like in Georgia. I think there's some in Alabama
yeah.
that would be like better than Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah,
Be like the
it's-
best breakfast, the best chicken.
They've
like-
got really good fried, like just
they'd
a
say,
bucket
like,
of fried chicken.
yeah,
I'd
like,
say it's better than
They'd say knock Popeyes out the water. I
Mm,
mean, there's people that are obsessed with Bojangles.
it's good, and their Bow Rounds, which are their like hash browns in
Yeah.
the morning. It's like
Son.
it's like Chick-fil-A's little hash browns in the morning.
Yeah, little
The little
circles.
quarter size circle. It's
Yeah.
like that, but that has been on steroids. It's way thicker and a lot
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm
I
sorry.
mean-
I didn't know.
glad-
I didn't know Bojangles was coming. I just got very excited.
yes, and I don't know where I saw that or heard that.
I saw
Research
an
that.
article. Yeah, I'll look it up real quick. I saw.
He's
an
like
article.
young Jamie. Google that,
Yeah.
Jamie. All right, I'll continue. I'll move right
That's
along
fun.
because the
Ooh,
next.
I'm so excited about Bojangles.
I know. Dude, we
It's-
haven't made
It's
it.
here.
Is it open?
There's no way. I would have heard.
Wait.
The only place it could be is either in Gluckstadt or it's moving into the corner bakery because they started
No,
working.
Corner
on
Bakery is
Jason's.
Jason's.
But I heard that was debunked.
No,
It is coming?
I think it's coming.
I don't give two rips about Jason's Deli. I couldn't care less about
Give me a
Jason's
second.
Deli.
'cause
You're
it-
good. My next one's a question for Logan.
Okay.
High school mascots. You like guessing high school
Oh, yeah.
mascots? So I went to Christian Brothers High School in Memphis.
Crusaders.
That's a good guess. You want to guess?
No.
Okay.
Crusaders, Saints, or
That's a good one, but no.
I can't think of it.
You'd never get
Is it an animal?
No.
Okay, then I'd have no chance.
Okay. It was an all boys private school.
But
in
Crusaders is my official pick.
That's a good one. A lot of folks just referred to us as the Brothers, but our mascot
Was a Friar?
was the Purple Wave.
No, there's no chance.
100% Purple Wave.
No chance I would have guessed
Because we were purple and gold, and we were the Purple Wave.
that. Have you seen Tupelo High School's Blue Field?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Makes me think of that because I'm colorblind.
Because you can see blue.
Well,
Is theirs like blue?
theirs is blue.
Like Boise State blue?
Yeah.
Have you heard the horror stories from Boise State with that field?
No. Are we about to have a turf conversation?
No. I won't get into all the blown Achilles in the same year in the NFL on the same field that may or may not be artificial. Boise State, when they put their field in, they did not realize they were going to have so many problems with dead waterfowl that are dive bombing the field.
Because they think it's a
'Cause
nice
they think
little
it's a
pond.
huge chunk of water. Yep.
That's crazy.
Anyway.
I've cracked the case.
Bojangles, go.
Flowwood.
No.
I did not know. It is worth the drive.
I wanted it here. I
Me
wanted
too.
it like-
I want everything.
I wanted
here.
like by Malco or Gluckstadt.
Yes.
It'd do work in Gluckstadt.
It would do great.
What?
And it's open.
How do you're speaking for every turf head, and I know that's
Absolutely,
not fair.
because there's none listening, so I can do that.
What is the general consensus? And this is a stupid question. What's the general consensus on AstroTurf or artificial turf fields?
Bad.
You think that every football field should still be grass?
Yeah, probably so. I will tell you the one application where I am semi okay with artificial turf. Baseball, Little League baseball infields. For multiple reasons. One, less kids are taking baseballs to the face because you usually get a true honest bounce on it's rare that you get a bad hop on artificial turf infields. The other reason why, and this is has nothing to do with grass or artificial turf, it has all to do with economics. Artificial turf infields allow parks to have more tournaments, have less rainouts, and bring in so much more revenue for the town, the city, or whatever. Madison, Liberty Park, Mayor Mary, since I know you're listening, you need to step it up, spend the money, and artificially do all the infields there and bring millions of more dollars to the city of Madison. But
She's our next guest.
is she? Well, I'd love to sit on that couch over there.
I would get her on here in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I love Mary Mary.
Yeah. She's great.
You know this. You're a third base guy, infield guy.
Yeah.
There is nothing like when you are posted up, ready to take the most Sunday hop of Sunday hops on a third base grounder, and it hits that lip where the grass meets the dirt, and it goes right for your left eyeball.
Yeah.
It's
and
crazy.
That's why everyone's like, I don't understand why Nick wears a mask playing third base and softball. It's like, because Nick values his face.
Yes.
We
could go into
we go
stories.
for days.
Yeah.
What? Once again, you're speaking for everybody. This is a question. What do you do on those nasty mud out rain games like at football where the turf is just destroyed because it's pouring down rain?
Yeah.
What are they doing to get the field ready for next week? Is it just going to be nasty the next week?
Oh, no. It depends on what level we're talking. We're talking about high school.
SEC college.
One, that field is built the same way a putting green is built.
Drainage like crazy.
Sand base and drainage. So it would take, for Mississippi State's field to get sloppy, it would take like a tsunami.
Okay.
It drains insanely well.
Where's all that water go? There's just pipes taking it out of there?
Yeah, it's all piped out. The night after every Mississippi State football game, no matter what time the game ends, there's an extensive process that happens on the field that night. If they finish the game at midnight, the grounds crew starts as soon as everybody's off the field and out of the stadium.
Oh, see, I want to hear about this.
It's typically they start with they sweep it, which is a big sweeper that like you see on golf courses that pick up divots and stuff. So they'll sweep it or blow it. A lot of times they'll blow it, like windrow it up, sweep it. They usually mow that night to help. That helps with the cleanup process. They mow it.
Generally, what inch or level are they cutting?
Mississippi State's football field's probably mowed at. I should know this, but I'm gonna say that field's probably mowed at somewhere between 1/2 and 3/4 of an inch. It's tight. It's a lot tighter than you would think.
It is. I expect it to be longer than that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely less than an inch. It's probably, I'm say 600, which would be like 6/10 of an inch, and I could find out with a text message.
I don't care that much.
Sell to the guy, but anyway, so they're blowing, they're sweeping, they're mowing. If needed, sometimes they're fertilizing. I mean, there's a lot that goes on immediately after the game, the folks are like, why don't they just wait? It's like, well, the next day's Sunday.
Yeah,
they got to be there for the game anyway, so they'd rather just get it done. That way, I don't have to work on Sunday. So, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
My next one just said counseling thoughts, because when Chris was here, y'all talking about counseling. Big fan. Yes, I recommend it to everybody, especially marriage counseling. And a lot of folks are like, well, we're in a great place. We don't need marriage counseling. That's the best time to go to marriage counseling.
Did we say it on the podcast? I was talking to Chris White about it another time. I don't know if we brought it up again on the podcast. He said something to me I thought was great. He said the issue with couples marriage counseling is that they come, if you think about like an RPM gauge, they come when they're redlining.
Yeah, no, y'all talked about that on the podcast.
And it's like they come, it's like, if you can't fix this in this hour, we're getting a divorce.
Yeah,
and it's like, you should come when it was at 2, not when it was at 7.
Megan and I just decided randomly to go back. Not randomly, there were things that led to it back early summer, late spring, early summer. And it was because of some things that were going on with another couple we know. And we were like, maybe just, to kind of check in and make sure we're as good as we think we are.
Right.
And when we got there, the guy that we met with, the first thing he said is like, I'm so glad y'all are here. But he said, this is my favorite way to do counseling, is when a married couple comes in that is not ready to rip each other's head off and just sit down and kind of just go through and just talk. And so I say all that to say, yes, I recommend it. Great, big fan of it.
Yep.
Yeah. And which leads me to Chris White. I've gotten to know Chris a little more, it's wild that like in the past year, I'm finally, as long as I've known you and Thomas and all these people that like he's in life group with, and I've just finally run into him a few times now. He's a good dude.
Yeah. That was like me with Thomas. Everyone talked about Thomas Starr.
Yeah.
And I met him like a month ago.
Right. Which me and Thomas have been like super good friends for 10 years now. So, I don't remember which, maybe it was around that time frame, but one of the episodes, I wish I had better documentation. Anyway, it got brought.
If you could have better documentation next time.
Next time,
Yeah,
I
for
will.
50, that'd be great.
I'll start episode 50. Man, that means I'm going to wait like a year for it. 6 months, whatever. The question was posed, where do dogs go?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't pose the question.
I know you did.
I answered the question.
I remember.
Who's got the answers?
I did.
want to hear the answers.
Yeah, they ain't going. Look.
Sir, I'd like to hear your opinion.
I don't really have an opinion.
Okay.
You seem like you have an opinion.
Strongly.
Okay, let's hear it.
Heaven. There's no, that. Is heaven supposed to be a place of ultimate joy? Yes or no question.
We could get into it. I'll say yes.
You
'cause I just
probably
wanna see
have a
where you're
little
going.
more theological background than I.
Is the point of heaven ultimate joy? No.
No.
But it is a side effect.
Okay.
Continue where you're going.
Someone that is a Bible scholar that I respect his scripture background, and he does not have a seminary degree or anything. He's just a gentleman.
Which doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's a gentleman in his 60s. Has been in the Word for a really long time. His argument is that not all dogs go to heaven. He said, but you can't tell me that certain dogs that literally played key aspects and might have saved people's life or were a service dog to someone are not going to be there to provide that joy in heaven also. And
it could be.
You cannot sit here and convince me
It could be.
that
I like
Champ,
that opinion. I
that
like
Champ
that
will
opinion.
not meet me at the gates
It
of
could
heaven
be.
if I'm granted access.
It's the same argument of do infants go to heaven or not?
Yeah.
Yes, also.
Which I do agree, I agree that they do, but it's
Yeah.
one of those things where we don't know.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where nobody's going to sit here and say it's about infants. No one's
Yeah.
going to sit here and say a 1-year-old that dies of whatever cause is not going to be in heaven.
Well, like the dog in my neighborhood that lived across the street that every time I rode my bike and his gate was open, he tried to kill me. He's not going to be there.
Okay.
Let's make that clear. I'm not an all dogs guy.
Yeah.
I'm a good dogs guy.
I would ask that guy, do animals have souls?
And he would probably say, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't
He doesn't
speak for
even
him
have a
either.
dog currently.
Uh,
I think some animals.
I would argue that I love Captain as much as you love Champ. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss that dog.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss that dog when he dies. But that's gonna be
And
how it goes.
I hope, and my prayer for you is that he meets you at the gates of heaven.
And if
one
he
day.
does, I'll be pumped.
You will experience ultimate joy.
It's one of those things where I'm so happy to be wrong. I'm so happy to be
Fair
like,
enough.
I hope that every old lady has their little cat sitting there waiting on them.
Cats do
aren't
not go
going
to
to
heaven. Thank you.
I hope that's the case.
I got a hot take on the next one.
I'm ready.
Now that we've agreed that good dogs go to
Yes.
heaven.
Yes. Absolutely.
The shared document apps that y'all keep talking about, where y'all share
Like
things,
Evernote.
whatever it's called.
Yeah.
What's the one you're
I
not?
use OneNote.
You use OneNote. You
Yeah.
use Evernote.
Evernote sucks.
Here's
No,
what
it
my
doesn't.
Yes, it
here's
does.
here. I know y'all get
It's
the
failed at
bickering.
the one thing it's supposed to do every time we've done a podcast.
And so in my
You're
notes, I
stupid.
wrote shared document apps ... Who cares? Because to me, the only way I share documents is like, and this is gonna alienate him.
Yes,
And I'm
can't
new.
wait.
You know that I'm new to this game though. The fact that I can do a note and send it to Megan, and she can do something with it, and then I can see it like a live note, just back and forth on iOS.
Google Docs is the same thing.
And I've used Google Docs because I used to be an Android guy.
Yeah.
But
Like I'm a like 6 months iPhone guy.
but
So-
sharing a note on the Apple's interface is so seamless.
And the
It's
thing that I
incredible.
really, oh man, I used to be a big iPhone hater, like big time. The fact that everything that's on my phone is on my iPad now is just like, but that is.
But
easy
for people like
but you
me
give me
and
like
you,
a PC, Mac PC, I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't figure out how to get to the internet on that thing.
Yep.
it's because you've been on Mac too long. That's
No, I've been on PC too long.
that same thing.
Yeah,
Same thing
It's
either.
not the same thing.
It's the same thing
Yeah,
either
I know.
way.
I-
If you've
yeah.
been on PC, no one can figure out a Mac. If
I can't
all you
figure
are
out a
is
Mac
PC.
because I've always been PC. I've
And
never
then
had
vice
a Mac.
versa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like when Jenna had her computer, what Windows are we running on these computers? Windows 10 or whatever.
10, I believe.
Like it takes me forever to get to the files. I just can't do
Because
it.
you're used to doing it on.
I just
you run a
click
Mac,
Finder,
don't
yeah.
you? I got you.
I mean, it's essentially the same thing.
No.
You just click
They different.
File Explorer.
True.
That's Finder.
No, different.
It's
Anyway.
it's the same.
My next one was and I think this is when Chris was on because he was trying to claim #1 podcast fan. No, that's me.
Do you have any evidence to back that up?
Do I have any evidence?
If we're
do.
just going
I
by
do.
text messages that I've received after every episode,
And I mean,
it's pretty close.
You've been here for 2 review episodes now, so
Well, and if
That's-
you scroll through my Spotify list, they're all fully green because I've listened to all of them.
okay,
So
that's pretty good.
that's half the battle, right?
I don't know if Chris has listened to everyone. I know he's listened to a bunch.
How many times have you voted? for
I vote
Miracles?
on most of them.
He comment
Yeah,
when he comments, I make it public.
yeah I've
Where do you listen? Spotify.
Spotify.
Okay,
And here's why.
I listen to Spotify as well.
I've always been one. Joe Rogan's only on Spotify.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, he's got an exclusive deal with them, and the
Okay.
reason he has an exclusive deal with them is because they're not an American-based company, and they'll let him do whatever the heck he wants to do, and they won't censor him at all.
Yeah.
So that's why he has to deal with. I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan podcasts. I pick and choose based on who his guest is.
Well, he has a new episode every other
Day. I like Spotify because if I'm in a place where I can also watch the video
Hmm.
while listening to the podcast, it feels more interactive to me.
Yeah.
And you can't do that. I mean, you can do it on YouTube, but on YouTube, if I need to freaking lock my phone and put it in my pocket,
You got to have premium.
and I ain't paying for that.
Yeah. And it's nice. like if you're just listening and then they start using a visual element.
Yeah, and I can pull it up, look, and that happens. Yeah,
when they put video on Spotify, Spotify was already a game changer,
but
that was a whole nother level for podcasts.
That's why I like Spotify is, and the reason I don't like YouTube because I don't have premium or whatever. Like, if I'm on Spotify and I am watching it and I get a text message, I can just go to it. It keeps playing. Like, you know what I mean?
It's great background.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Spotify. So I listen to all my music on Spotify.
They started doing ebooks recently.
I saw
on
that.
Spotify.
And since, I'm going to harp on this. I'm like, okay, cool. My camera's not dead.
There you go.
Since we were going to Oxford and London, I downloaded a lot of ebooks, some C.S. Lewis, some Tolkien, downloaded the Silmarillion. You want to know how long that thing is? 21 hours.
There's no way I can barely read the Silmarillion. There's no way I'm listening to the Silmarillion.
Well, Andy Serkis narrates all of those books, and I thought that was kind of cool.
That is cool.
He's Gollum.
I was about to say, I have no idea who that is.
He did the motion capture and the voice for Gollum.
That's the Lord of the Rings reference, I think.
Yeah, it is.
He nailed it.
It is. Silmarillion is the...
They're listening to us.
Of course they are.
There was a YouTube TV ad playing
TV.
for our audio listeners.
Yeah. Silmarillion is is basically a history book because Lord of the Rings takes place during the Third Age. Okay. So the Silmarillion is the history book of the First and Second Age.
Gotcha.
So kind of like the history of Middle Earth.
And it reads like a good history book.
Yeah, it does.
But it's still a history book.
That'd be tough. My next thought, and I'm glad that I feel like I keep mentioning the guy, Chris White.
Bam.
Agreed with me. Chick-fil-A is the gold standard of fat. You ruined it when you said McDonald's. And here's why. I have great evidence and a way to back it up, though. I'm not just going to be like, it's because it's Chick-fil-A. It's the gold standard because they have set a standard in the service industry that
it's what you should strive to be.
No matter what industry you're in.
Yeah.
Like when I was at Site One, when we were talking customer service, we sold landscape supplies. Our model was Chick-fil-A was referenced all the time. If you run the best marketing company in Atlanta, I guarantee you someone has told you how to serve your customer in a Chick-fil-A manner. That's why I say it's gold standard.
I heard a word used to describe McDonald's that may be more appropriate. You tell me if it fits.
If you say trash, I'm throwing something.
I'd say
benchmark.
Okay.
How do you feel?
Anything that saves me from this, because I realize
you're still extremely wrong.
Whatever.
But what I think you were trying to say is that it's like when you think of fast food, it's like you typically think of McDonald's because it's the most common. It's the bar. Yeah, I guess.
And that was what I said originally, is that it was the bar.
You said gold standard.
You said gold standard in McDonald's. And the only thing gold at McDonald's is the arches. Okay. I'm jaded to McDonald's. I got food poisoning from McDonald's when I was like 7. And
do it to you.
And it was on a hamburger. I will go have breakfast with you at McDonald's if you'd like. But after they stop serving that, I can't do it.
Their breakfast is so good.
Sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin, 2 hash browns. That's my
so
order.
Good.
I could eat 12 of their hash browns. Yeah.
There's something in those hash browns.
It's the same grease as the fries. It's the grease. It's got to be. Fries are great too. So anyway, Chick-fil-A is the gold standard because
let's move on from this. Let's keep this. Let's keep
I like this. Let's keep on this. What other things are Logan wrong?
Kick him while he's down. Yeah. We'll get to that. I got.
Excellent.
Pickleball's been brought up a few times. Big fan of pickleball. I enjoy playing pickleball. It's fun. I've played with Dave Thomas and Morgan and Sam and all those guys.
The Thomases are in it.
They get down. Yeah. They get down so much that like they're scared to invite people to play because they're so competitive. Yes. Not because they think they're going to beat you or what, but like
you're going to see a side of them.
Well, you got some father-son, you got some brother-in-law, you got some son-in-law. Like it gets heated, I think. Yeah. So that's hey, I respect it. Disney movies.
Yeah,
that was a good one. I really like. I mean, just because did y'all rank them? Yeah, y'all tiered.
Jordan ranked them, and we kind of reviewed them.
Y'all kind of reviewed them and put it. Y'all were using terms, tiering them.
Yeah,
man, one of my most favorite movies of all time is Toy Story. The first Toy Story. I mean, I'm talking about not just favorite Disney, like of all time.
Yep.
Pixar, Toy Story, Ratatouille.
Ratatouille's so good.
Great.
It's underrated.
We didn't.
Yeah.
Is it though?
Both of my kids loved it.
No one talks about it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Both of my kids love Ratatouille.
And I saw it for the first time when we were in Paris
See,
a few years ago.
everybody I talk to says
Loves
it's
it.
a great movie.
It's great.
Yeah. I would not say it's underrated because everyone I talk to talks about how great
I
it
would
is.
consider it underrated because I don't hear people say anything bad about it, but I don't hear people talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
But the people that do talk about it,
You gotta listen to me more. I love that movie.
I love it. It's
why would I do
great.
that? You think that McDonald's is the gold standard of
Oh.
Shut up.
Another one.
I did. Sorry, I did
Go ahead.
hear it was a random YouTube video, and it was a French trained chef talking about how accurate the French kitchen was.
Yeah.
And I was like, just
Even
another
better.
reason.
Yep.
Disney
Why?
does it again. You
Yeah.
know.
We went to a restaurant at Disneyland Paris. This is why we watched Ratatouille the night before. But there's like a Ratatouille ride, and there's Gusteau's
Yeah.
in Disneyland Paris, and we got to eat there. And
Did you get the soup?
we got Ratatouille. It comes with every meal, and it was excellent.
Awesome.
But when we walked in, I distinctly remember, because the theme of the restaurant isn't that you're in Gusteau's as humans. Everything is like you're shrunken down to the size of a rat. So you're in the restaurant above Gusteau's.
Okay.
And I looked at Anna and I went, "We're the rats."
We're the rats.
But it was really good. It was a really good dining experience. The
So-
Ratatouille was great.
That's
Never had it
kind of
before.
cool.
Yeah.
Ratatouille's high on my list, and I'm glad we just talked about it because y'all didn't really talk about it much in
No.
the last one.
Yeah.
The Good Dinosaur.
Never seen it.
The reason I wrote that down, you've got to watch it. It's a great movie. I know, didn't it? I think it came out.
It must
Was
have
it a COVID release, maybe?
No.
That would be
Or just
wild.
a straight to Disney Plus release, maybe?
Onward was the COVID release.
Another great one.
That's a great one.
And both of my kids love, and like I can't believe that they love it because like the plot line's so
It's deep.
it's deep.
Yeah.
And but they
Good
both think
Dinosaur has a deep plot.
no,
No,
Onward.
Oh yeah,
The one about the brothers.
Onward messed me up.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
and my
Good Dinosaur, I think it came out in 2017, just off
Okay.
the top of my head. It must have come out at a weird time, or maybe it was just sandwiched between like
some really good ones.
ones.
Look,
Because it just
watch
got
it.
forgotten.
watch it.
I will watch it.
Wyatt loves it.
I got to figure out how to watch it.
Disney Plus.
We don't have Disney Plus.
I will share my login
That's
because they're not Nazis like Netflix. Anyway,
The Netflix thing is crazy.
it is. And then when you go to like,
The Netflix Nazis.
that's them. When you go to like what I would call, I gotta be careful. I don't want to say old school Disney because Steven will school me on this because my idea of old school and his are when it comes. I'm
Go
terrible.
ahead.
I'm terrible
What
with
are you
like
trying to say?
movies and all
Yeah,
that.
let's just tentatively say old school.
Yeah, there you go. Jungle Book,
I could say that old school.
Aladdin, and I know Aladdin was really high for y'all. It's really high for me. The live action remake of Aladdin was great,
It was
in
good.
my opinion.
It was good
Well,
because that's what we
you're
were
trying
talking
to
about.
replace Genie, who is Robin Williams. Will Smith did a great job. It's a great movie. Hercules, that one got brought up. That was one of Megan and her little sister loved Hercules.
It's one of my favorites.
It was a great movie. Beauty and the Beast. Y'all didn't really talk about that.
That was because I think the only thing we talked about is I said it was a great movie. Steven said it's probably one of the best ever, and I said I don't know if it's one of the best ever.
It's not one of my favorites, but I think that because of all of its accolades,
Yeah.
it is known as one of the best ever.
Yeah, great movie. in my
Beauty and the Beast may be one of my favorite live action remakes.
I literally have that on.
with Emma Watson.
Yep.
I thought that was a great
I have that
movie.
in my notes that it was a great live action remake too. Little Mermaid.
I enjoyed it.
I'm not crazy about the remake. The live action it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But great movie. Y'all went down the Dumbo rabbit hole for a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
The original Dumbo, take it or leave it. Nothing. The live action remake one
Good.
is good.
Really?
If you haven't seen, like, give it a chance. The storyline obviously is very similar.
Yeah.
But I think that is the one case where I'd say it is definitely better than the original, in my opinion.
Okay.
So yeah,
There
you
we
need
go.
to watch Good Dinosaur.
I'm probably not watching Dumbo, but I'll watch Good Dinosaur.
Ratatouille is awesome.
It is.
We established that.
Yeah.
So sausage balls.
Oh, son. We had some at Thanksgiving.
We had some last night.
They're so good.
What do you put on sausage balls?
Strawberry jelly.
I have not had sausage balls since I was brought on to the idea of strawberry jelly, but next
Okay.
time I have them, I'm going to be putting jelly on
Do
them.
you ever put anything on them?
I have not in the past.
Typically, no.
Typically, no.
I'm gonna throw one out there.
Don't say like sour cream or something.
Mustard.
Nonsense.
Ooh,
mustard.
Okay.
that'll work.
I will not eat one without mustard.
Interesting.
That's a good one.
So let's talk about this.
I'm a big breakfast sausage, any sausage, and mustard.
I'm a big sausage, like link sausage with mustard. Not
Smoked
like,
sausage.
Yeah, that's
but
what I'm talking about.
Breakfast sausage and mustard. Yes.
Never done it.
I'm just telling you.
Let me.
Sausage balls, mustard. Just a little.
So like Megan, Jenny H's, Jessica Van Hooser,
Had them 100 times.
homemade sausage
Yep.
balls, incredible. What I'm about to say does not have anything to do with those.
Okay.
We went to Sullivan's and got Tennessee Pride brand pre-made, just throw in the oven sausage balls. They were not bad. I would even say that they were good.
You know, we were talking about Megan's granny earlier. She made biscuits and gravy all the time. It was always sausage gravy.
Mm-hmm.
That woman would throw any sausage in the trash if it was not Tennessee Pride.
That was her
The
brand.
only sausage she would buy. Breakfast sausage. Hot and mild.
Yeah.
The only one it had, like, if she sent you to the store to get sausage and you came back with anything else, straight to the trash
Some
can.
of that Jimmy Dean nonsense.
Garbage.
What she would say.
She ain't doing it. She was a Tennessee Pride fan. But sausage
Interesting.
balls, the ones we ate last night, were made by my daughter Charlie and Miss Doris.
We could
Brumfield.
have a whole dadgum episode on Doris Brumfield.
She has got to be on the podcast.
I'm trying to get her
I'll get her.
and Carolyn Ragsdale.
Okay. Yep.
Carolyn has already said no. She does listen though, but she should come on the podcast. We need to
But
get
Miss Doris has got to get on here. She's a great person.
What I'm saying,
One of my favorite humans.
I will never say that pre-made sausage balls are better than homemade.
Yeah.
Well, some people can make sausage balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But in a pinch, the ones y'all have.
but if
were
there's
good.
just like, hey, I'm feeling sausage balls, maybe Megan's not here to cook them or whatever. I'm just want jonesing.
Yeah.
I would say go to Sullivan's, get you some, and they're not bad.
I've got a lot of ideas in my head about some things I want to do with sausage balls. To not like I appreciate a traditional sausage ball.
Mm-hmm.
I've made sausage balls before. You know, everyone's like sausage, cheese, and typically Bisquick
biscuit,
is
yeah.
is what most folks use. I've taken that step further in the past and added a can of Rotel to that before,
Okay.
which adds a lot.
Hmm.
My next one, I saw this on a TikTok recipe. It's sausage and cheese, and instead of using Bisquick, you use Red Lobster's Cheddar Bay biscuit
my
mix.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I want to go down this rabbit hole of different sausage. Anyway, but a good traditional sausage ball, big fan.
Any kind of savory dish with biscuits,
Yeah.
just replace the Bisquick or whatever with the cheddar.
Yeah. Could you imagine like a Cheddar Bay biscuit with some sausage gravy on top of it?
All over it.
Just saying. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's
We may have to
mustard on your sausage balls.
I'll try it.
Everyone that I've told that to that has actually tried it is like, why have I not been doing this?
Yeah.
But I do like some sweet with the savory, which
Alright.
is with the jelly,
That's
and
fine.
mustard won't do that. So
What about honey mustard?
I don't like honey mustard. Not a honey mustard guy.
Why is that?
Because when I think it's a mental thing. Because when I eat mustard, I expect whatever you call it, the wang of
Yeah,
mustard,
that's a great word.
and then it's so sweet,
Yeah,
and it
That-
just throws me.
that was my next thing. Maybe make your own.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
the same
maybe get some
thing
mustard and then just drizzle a little bit of honey in there just to get that
Yeah.
little sweetness.
because I've done that.
Because I do agree, like with most honey mustards that you find,
It's like straight sugar.
it is.
Yeah,
And I like honey mustard.
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
But like if you make your own, and
I'll
what-
let Nick make me some.
yeah, I got you. Because if I'm making it, I use like your regular yellow mustard, and then I add a little spicy mustard, and then put some honey in.
Yeah.
Whoop it, and it's really
I'm
good.
going over the Wilson. I'm already going for potato soup and what'd you say?
Chocolate covered peanuts. Also,
that's so
this
dumb.
time of year,
That's so dumb.
at this time of year, some folks
I
call
need
them
a-
crock pot candy.
I need a gallon of those things.
They're so good. We put them in gallon Ziplocs. Oh, some folks call them crock pot candy. Some folks call them chocolate covered peanuts, whatever. Since it's December, I tell the kids, and I like to call them reindeer
Poop.
poop.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what it looks like.
Yep.
Next was the Thanksgiving foods.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one. Was
really
that you and me?
That was you and me.
It was just you two.
I think that was, as of recording this, I think that was our most recent. No.
No, y'all did the speed run.
Yep.
The
Yep.
movie.
That was a test you passed.
Yeah. I did pass. When it comes to turkey,
Hate it.
I know you do.
Well, I hate ham. I just get so tired of turkey.
Yeah.
Fried turkey and smoked turkey. That crap grandma used to put in the oven and let sit all day.
Mhm.
No, sir.
Yeah.
I ain't about that.
Yeah.
I smoked a turkey this year for Thanksgiving. It was really good. I brined it for a day before, did all this stuff. It was good. But my favorite way to do it is specifically when my good buddy Thomas Starr fries a turkey.
Really?
He's a good turkey frying
I
guy.
don't know if I've ever had fried turkey.
Oh my God.
I've had it.
I always wanted to.
I've had it like
So
twice.
good.
It's good.
It's so good.
But it's that whole thing of like you could kill yourself, it'll explode on you, all that craziness. So
Yeah.
it's good to have someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
The key is thawed out before you put it in the grease.
Yeah.
But I think the reason you dislike turkey, or what you were saying, if I remember right, was like you feel like you have to eat it for the next 10 days.
I do.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And then a month later, I'm going to do it all again for Christmas.
yeah. So what I did this year to make that a little better, because it was literally at Thanksgiving, Megan was out of town that week. So it's me, my two kids who ate like very little turkey,
I've been using
and my
Yeah.
and my mom.
Have you been hearing me quoting you
The
everywhere?
dinner roll.
Oh, the rolls?
Yeah.
You cook all that food for the kids to eat rolls?
Yeah.
I've been
and-
saying that everywhere.
And
Yes.
literally, I think in that 2-day period of having Thanksgiving food at my house, here's how many rolls my kids ate. On Friday, my mom went to Sullivan's and bought more rolls because they'd eaten all of them
Yep.
already.
Yep.
So,
I actually made homemade mac and cheese for our Thanksgiving.
heck yeah.
I think I found my recipe.
You did good with it?
That's
Yeah.
He's been working on a mac and cheese recipe for a long time.
I've been trying to find the right cheeses.
I
think
It's
I got it.
one that I
You
so
don't- you-
appreciate.
So you don't have to go into minute detail, but what cheeses did we land on?
I want you to start with the pot and the noodles, and then tell me what you do.
Okay.
I want all the
Um,
details.
It is a pot that I use.
Okay.
I
You got pasta, right?
elbow.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I feel like I probably should try with something other than elbows.
Yeah, I
Some
mean,
spirals, maybe.
Maybe something
You
that
just-
catches sauce better.
more like a shells guy.
I'm a
Shells-
shells guy as well.
Shells are
Yeah.
good.
I think this would probably be good with shells. But
Okay.
I've never done baked mac and cheese before.
Is this what you did?
Is this a
what- this is
baked
what I
one?
did.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I just want you to know, traditionally, I don't like a baked mac and cheese because there's not enough cheese.
so I made this mac and cheese like I would a regular mac and cheese, and then put it in, and
Okay.
then made it a baked
So, I
variation.
mean, you make like a cheese sauce.
Yeah,
And then you.
I start with the roux and
Yeah,
everything,
okay,
and
alright.
I made a cheese sauce. The cheeses I used were cheddar, white cheddar, Gruyere, and Gouda.
Sign me up.
Oh, you didn't go with the jack cheese for the melt.
No,
Well,
Say it
Gouda-
again, but slower.
Gouda's smoky.
yeah, and it was a
typically.
smoked Gouda specifically.
Yeah.
Say them
Uh,
again, but
it
slower.
was cheddar, white cheddar, Gruyere. I think it was a white cheddar Gruyere blend.
Uh-huh.
I like Gruyere cheese.
yeah,
by the
yeah.
way.
And
Gouda.
I probably should have added some Jack for the melt,
I don't know.
but
Yeah.
I did
but
do a little bit of Velveeta for the melt.
I'm not telling
Okay.
you. Okay, well
There
we
you go.
Yeah.
That, you got some creaminess.
I'm not
Yeah.
telling you to add or take away anything. I just wanted to hear what you had to
Yeah.
say.
That
So-
sounds really good.
Yeah, so
though.
that was the sauce.
Yep.
And then I layered in some more Gouda and cheddar for the bake, and then put panko on top.
Okay.
Pankos, you can't go wrong with panko.
Oh no.
Yeah, it
I-
rocked.
I've never made that style of mac and cheese. I'm a big fan of it typically.
Yeah.
Megan's little, I wish she listened to this, Miranda, Megan's little sister, because she would finally hear that I'm not being sarcastic. I'm serious.
Yeah.
One year for Thanksgiving or Christmas, one of those two, she made a homemade mac and cheese. And that was it was at her house. She hosted, she made the mac and cheese. Everybody else made everything else. And me and Megan kept telling her how good it was. And she's like,
So you thought you were just being a
leave
jerk?
me alone. Y'all are
Yeah.
being jerks. Like, you're being so mean
That's
to me.
just little sister stuff.
And I'm like, it was so good. And she's like, you don't have, like, she's like, I know y'all are just being nice. It was the first year I hosted. I've never even made it before. I just found a recipe. I was like, it was divine. Like, give me the recipe. And to this day, I've yet to get the recipe from her.
because she thinks you're just
She
being
thinks
a
I'm
jerk.
still, and it was great.
Are you normally super sarcastic with her?
No.
Well.
I have known her since she was like 14. So, yeah, I've probably picked on her
I
more
have
than once.
suffered a bit from the being a traditionally deadpan person that can be sarcastic.
Yeah,
Sometimes
That
they're
can
just
be
hard.
sarcastic.
They can be, yeah.
occasionally.
Sometimes with certain people, it can be hard being perceived as genuine.
Yeah.
So my last hot take for mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Hamil's has quite possibly the worst mac and cheese on the planet. But it's
I
because
can't recall it, but
it's a straight up baked mac and cheese. You have a layer of melted cheese on top, and then it's just
and just
noodles.
cook pasta under it. No,
Yeah.
I'm out.
It's
Yeah,
terrible.
no.
It's funny you say that because we had Trace Grill for lunch, I think, yesterday, and their mac and cheese is the exact same way.
It may be. I
Where
can't tell you I've
it's-
ever had
no.
Trace Grill's mac and
It's
cheese.
literally just like
You're
sh-
disagreeing with him, or you also say it's not good?
No, I'm saying I don't know that I've ever had their mac and
Yeah.
cheese, but any mac and cheese is like that. And
Yeah,
he was talking about terrible.
It's just like cooked pasta, like shells,
yeah.
that's salted and peppered, and then like a layer of cheese on top.
No.
You gotta have
Heck
you
no.
gotta have a thick cheese sauce.
What's your? I'm gonna ask this question. What's your favorite? Just
Mac and
buy
cheese?
a box of mac and cheese.
Oh, I don't have an answer for that. My favorite mac and cheese, it used to be Corner Bakeries, and it changed recently. I'm forgetting the restaurant.
Where is it? In Madison.
No,
It's not in Madison.
Panera has a pretty good mac and cheese.
Never had.
it's
theirs.
it's gonna kill me. I'm gonna have to text you later.
Slim Chickens is the best fast food mac and cheese. I stand by that.
We went.
You're a big Slim Chickens fan.
It's literally just that one factoid. Like, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I think Slim Chickens
I'm
has
gonna have,
really
I'm
good
gonna
mac
have
and
to
cheese.
text Megan. And
okay.
And
I mean, I'm
yeah.
okay with Slim Chickens. I'm picking Cane's over Slim Chickens. However, I do something I really appreciate about Zaxby's and Slim Chickens is
Hey,
yes.
hey,
You're on the podcast.
You're on the podcast right now.
Hello.
Is she coming through?
she's coming through.
Yeah.
We're talking about mac and cheese. Where were we eating where we got that mac and cheese? It was Bonefish.
Bonefish has some fantastic mac and cheese.
Interesting.
It was like a
pasta. It's like more like a pasta dish, but it's still enough to taste like macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
And it has bacon. It's good.
it was
It has
topped with-
bacon.
topped with bacon.
Sign me up.
It
But
was
not
so,
too heavy on bacon because I'm picky
You
about
can't
that.
go too heavy on
It
But-
that.
wasn't like fatty bacon, it
we-
was good.
I'll take my bacon.
but
with a side of
we
bacon.
Yeah.
so like we were the ones who were keeping Corner Bakery afloat here for so long because their breakfast was great, and we would go there just to get their mac and cheese.
What was the cake they had there?
Oh, the cake? I have no idea.
Oh, there's some cake that my wife Megan used. Oh man.
All right, thank you.
There's some
I'll
kinda
call you
like
back in just a minute.
cinnamon.
Love you, bye.
Like a pound cake, but like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
cinnamon streusel pound cake thing. It was really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bonefish.
Guys,
Interesting.
If they have good mac and cheese, and we all know they have the staple bang
bang bang
shrimp,
shrimp.
I could make a meal out of that for
Yeah.
sure. It's like the last time I went to Bonefish, I think I got bang bang shrimp tacos.
So
So good.
Glenn gives us bonefish gift cards every now and then, so we may just have to go.
I never get the bonefish tacos because it's 100%. I'm always getting bang bang shrimp appetizer.
Yeah.
And I will say, getting both is too much for me.
Oh, absolutely. Last time I went was at brunch, and we didn't get.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got bang bang shrimp. I think I had some redfish, which was so good. It was a special.
Okay.
And it was, you'll appreciate this. It was a redfish grilled, and it had a butter Old Bay sauce on
Okay.
top. And
Yep.
it was very good.
Did you see the redfish I made?
That's what made me think about it.
It's good. Did you see it?
But-
Are you on any social media?
I'm on
He's not on
Facebook.
Instagram.
Well, I put it on Facebook too.
He
Are
probably
we
doesn't.
friends on it?
We'll fix that later.
Yeah.
But they give you it's a premium side, so they give you a bowl of mac and cheese, and
So
we
it's like
just,
a shareable
and we
deal.
just split it,
Got you.
and it was great.
But next time you go, you may not share.
No.
Okay. Anyway, so you
Now that I saw how good it was,
no box like store mac and cheese. You don't have a vote.
no, because if we ever did it, we just did Kraft, but I didn't like it, so we hardly ever did.
Kraft has gotten better recently.
But my mom makes a homemade mac and cheese,
Yeah.
and so if
I grew up on Velveeta shells and cheese.
we have both.
Now-
We've got our cabinet has some Kraft and some.
Okay.
Velveeta.
My mom could not wrap her head around cheese being powder in a bag,
yeah,
which is Kraft.
Yeah.
Velveeta shells and cheese. Now, and I learned how to, when I made it in college, I would cook it in college. Like I used to buy it at Sam's in like a 10-pack, for
Yep.
college life. But
It's good stuff.
like when I drained my pasta, I add butter and milk and a lot of things. Like
Yeah.
my mom jazzed it up. So that was just, if I'm gonna buy a store bought one,
Now,
it's gonna be Velveeta shells.
the
and cheese.
closest thing that the Elsies did to that, because Sue Ellen would just make homemade mac and cheese, and it's very good.
Susu is her name.
Sue would. The closest thing that we got to that stuff is we would eat buckets of Hamburger Helper.
We had a lot of Hamburger Helper too.
So and I think that's powder. Velveeta makes their own version,
It's powder.
but it's powder.
Now we did eat that, but more me and him talk about our moms. They were like twins.
They're the same people.
They both nurses, cardiology nurses at that, work full time, blah blah. Anyway, beside the point. I don't know how we got on. Oh, Thanksgiving food landed us on Mac.
Yes.
There's a party going on
there's children
outside.
out there.
There's children, probably one of mine. There was y'all got talking about ambidextrous, right hand, left hand stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm pretty close to ambidextrous.
You're right.
I eat with my left hand. This is what I found out.
If you can eat left-handed, do you write with your right hand though? Okay. That's so weird to me. Megan writes left-handed and eats right-handed. It's crazy.
Me and Megan are the same person. It's great. It's just how it goes.
I can't very little.
But, so what we think, I'd be interested to talk to Megan and see what her deal is. We think it's because my mom is left-handed.
Okay.
So maybe either I watched her eat left-handed or she put the fork in my left hand. That's what we say. Because it's the only thing that I do left-handed.
Megan and her little sister are both left-handed. Neither of their parents is left-handed. They think their theory is they had the same kindergarten teacher who was left-handed. So they think that in watching that teacher write on the chalkboard and do things that's where they picked it up.
But
if you eat with your left hand, I would say you're either, to me, you're borderline left-handed.
I know. But what I thought was crazy is when people brush teeth.
Yeah.
You brush on the opposite side, and then you kind of do the flip around thing. I just switch hands. And I remember I talked to a girl.
What'd you say? You'd knock your teeth out if you were trying to do it with your left hand or something? Or
Probably.
You wouldn't get it? Yeah.
My left hand's worthless.
But so I'll be brushing with my right hand. I'll go bottom left side.
Yep.
I'll switch hands, go bottom right side, and then I'll switch hands again.
Go to the top on the.
And then okay. So I'm switching 4 different times while I'm brushing.
I saw one of these trendy influencer type people was if you want to change, rewire your brain, I think was the words they used. They had this breathing routine that you did in the morning. First thing, look yourself, and this one, look yourself in the mirror every morning and tell yourself that you love yourself and you're proud of yourself. And I was like, I could see where that triggers. And he said, and whatever hand you brush your teeth with, use the other hand. Try to figure that out. It's a challenge first thing in the morning.
It's like mental stimulation.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
So I
be
tried.
an issue for me.
I tried.
And you were brushing your ear.
And I was like, I could do it, but you talk about a mental marathon first thing in the morning to focus on. The only thing I could, but I don't know. I have a little bit my left hand's really good if it has a baseball glove on it.
Yeah.
And when I play ping pong or pickleball,
you can
blows people's mind because if something's way to my left side in ping pong or pickleball, I will switch the paddle to my left hand and hit it back. Now I can't hit it hard or really precise, but I can keep it in play. And
that's probably the glove work because you can get a paddle or your hand in front of the ball
and move it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's I guess archery. If you're right eye dominant, then you shoot right-handed.
Yeah.
But your left hand is really doing all the work.
Well, you got it. And I forget that you shot archery. I
nationally ranked.
I did a lot of bow hunting.
Just throwing that in there.
Just knock that off my
That's
shoulder
my one
real
thing.
quick. Hey, absolutely. Yeah. No, be proud of it. I bow hunted a lot. And that left hand's got to be steady and know what it's doing for sure. It'll mess you up more than anything else.
Yep.
So yeah.
Anyway, when you were longbow recurve, not compound.
My preference. Camera's still going. I'm surprised. My preference was recurve.
It's a Sony
recurve. Gotcha.
So you did the 3-finger on the string.
Yeah.
Did you do 1 over 2 under, or how'd you do?
I learned one over two under.
Okay.
I don't remember where I landed. I don't know if I did that.
I think some people do 3 under. I don't know why I'm holding this up in the air.
like the fewer
Mike's
fingers, the fewer fingers you use, the better. Because
so some people did just use 2.
some people thumb draw.
Like this?
Yeah, like this, where like you pull on the arrow because
you're pinching.
pretty much.
Yeah,
That's
the knock of the arrow.
That's an entire method.
Yeah,
that feels weird.
I mean, if you think about it, the fewer fingers you have to release from that string,
resistance.
less
the
resistance.
less, yeah.
And so the fewer fingers, in my opinion, the better. I think I did 3. I may have ended up with 2. But I did have a phase where I did shoot compound for a little bit. So I did do both.
Nick, what's your anchor point? Like, what were you holding on to? Like, were you just touching your jaw?
No, I had a corner of my mouth. I had a spot,
Yeah.
corner of my mouth where my string would
Did you have a button or anything? Or you just knew where it was?
I had a button on my string, and then that anchor point. I used to use like my earlobe. I used to stick my thumb right at my earlobe, and that's where I hit when I shot with a trigger release. I switched to a thumb release, and it messed with my anchor point.
Yeah.
But I liked with the trigger release, I was bad about flinching or wasn't the arch slapping the trigger.
Yeah.
I was bad about and with the thumb, like I just had to hold, and I would literally, like, I wouldn't hit it with my thumb. I would just take my whole hand, and just as I squeezed my whole hand, there was a point where it went off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I quit flinching so much when I switched to that. And they're expensive.
They're so expensive.
One of my buddies taught me, and he's like, dude, you got to try a thumb release. And I was like, oh, yeah, what, 40, 50 bucks? He was like, I was like, well, can I try yours then?
Yeah.
And I tried it, and I was like, oh.
So that's the only reason I haven't done like a thumb or a hinge or any of that stuff is because, one, they're so expensive.
Yeah.
I've just got the trigger, and that's what I'll do is I'll almost put like my knuckle on my earlobe.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that this probably isn't correct, but the way that I'll do it is I'll kind of over torque my wrist to get all over that trigger.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll just have that
way you can just
locked
squeeze.
in, and then so I'm just going like this.
Instead of slapping.
Instead of popping it with the end, I'll just kind of do that.
Have you been like fitted for a bow?
No.
Someone your size certainly needs to be
I
fitted
know.
for a bow because your draw length and all
It's
that's
like
probably
it's
way
like
off.
it's like a 33. Like
or longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably need to be fitted.
But the
someone like me that's
but I went
5'10", 5'11", average height. Like I can go grab a 28, 29 inch bow and shoot it all day long. You not.
But that was the problem is that I am fully aware I should have done that, but I didn't want to go to Vans or B&B or wherever and go
and then get talked into, sir, you need this $1,800, and you're like, no, I don't.
We've talked about it before. I'm the easiest sell. Like I can't talk to salespeople because I will buy what you're selling.
I need you to take care of like a lot of grass. I know. To help me out.
But like Megan knows it. So like if we walk into someone where there's like if it's like a retail where someone's really selling something, they're like walking around. You're buying. I'm like, don't talk to me. I know exactly what I'm getting because I will walk out of here with a lot of stuff.
I got you.
And so I knew that if I walked in there, I was getting a flagship bow. And I was like, so I got a bear just ready to hunt.
Yeah.
Whatever. And it's been great.
Yeah.
But for me to get locked in, I need to go and get fitted.
Yeah, big time.
I've been wanting to get a new bow because the bow that I've got is still from when I competed
back
when I was a teenager. Yeah. And so I'm worried if I full draw that thing, I'm going to break it.
What might happen? Yeah.
But
that's the difference between a recurve and a compound is, like there's a straight up valley. Like this is where you're going with the compound.
Yeah.
With a recurve, I mean, you can
just keep going.
You could just keep on going.
Yeah.
My next topic, I feel like we've been on here for like 4 hours already, which
it
doesn't matter.
Logan, what's our time?
Hour and 31.
1:54.
Well, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Which 11 minutes of that was preamble. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
I only have a few more. I got quite a few more, but no, it's not bad. Christmas food. You're talking about how you hate that it's just Thanksgiving 2.0, basically.
That's why the Elsies did shish kebabs.
Could not agree more with that statement. Now, this year I did find out recently that we're hosting Christmas, and it is expected that there will be turkey and ham there, which I'm not a fan of. However,
you're hosting. You get to pick what you want to do.
That's Saturday. Yeah. Christmas Eve in the Wilson household is reserved for steaks. I
love a good Christmas steak.
Always go to the Christmas Eve service at Ridgecrest, which may or may not be happening this year.
Which we are doing a morning service.
We may or may
more to come, sir.
Why do people not tell me anything here?
No.
I found out last night My wife may be leading the front and the march on the grounds, like storming the Capitol of Ridgecrest
So
for
we're
a night
trying to make
service.
that happen.
There have
Yeah,
been a
I
few
see.
people that have expressed interest in an evening Christmas Eve service.
I see.
My wife may or may not have rallied those troops. Just
Okay.
saying. Anyway, tradition. One of our
nothing has been officially said
correct.
yet.
As soon as that is said, please let me know that as soon as you know, because I may not be here for that.
That'd be okay. We'll work it out.
Mhm.
I'll
Work
run
it out.
sound.
Yeah.
Not really.
Everything to 11.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever it is, we just gotta run
Crank
the
it
board.
to 11 and rip the knob off.
But one of our traditions has been we go, and usually that's an early service, like 5 o'clock. So
Mhm.
our tradition kind of, we just made it one of our own little family traditions. We go to Christmas Eve service, we go home and I cook steaks. We eat steaks, we get in the car and we go look at Christmas lights. It's
Mm.
just one of our things. But you would have been and prime rib's been something that we've introduced around
I've never
Christmas.
cooked a prime rib.
Oh my god!
I love eating a prime rib.
Yeah.
Do not get me wrong. I've
Yeah.
never cooked one.
I got you. So this Christmas Eve, since we're gonna have a few more people in town still, steaks might get changed to prime rib. So I might be cooking a prime rib,
Oh, there we
which
go.
is still in the steak family. Anyway, you would love the fact that my mother is the most untraditional
Love it.
Christmas food person.
Mm-hmm.
My growing up, when I was in high school, my senior year of high school was rough times. Anyway, I won't get into all that, but
Stuff happened.
well, my aunt passed away, who was like 2 years older than my mom. 6 months later, my grandmother passed away, and that my grandmother raised my only cousin on my mom's side. So that literally left on my mom's side of the family. Now it's me, my first cousin, and my mom. And that happened since I was like 18.
Yeah.
So my mom has hosted that Christmas for us, and she has always said, we will not have turkey. We will not have ham. We will have what I say we're going to have.
Yeah.
Well, we had like an 8-year run where Christmas, my mom boiled king crab legs for Christmas.
Let's
every year.
go.
So she went like, we're going to have,
I'm gonna do what I want.
tacos. Like it was, yeah. So we did king crab legs for a long time. Then they got really expensive. So we had to kind of.
They sure did.
Yeah.
They sure
They
did.
They were already expensive,
Yes.
but they went way up, like crazy prices. But anyway, we did that for a long time. And now it's turned, Christmas for my mom is more of like dude, she's like throw 30 different dessert or
Mhm.
hors d'oeuvres, appetizers, a lot of finger foods and
Yeah.
desserts and all that down. And it's one of those where you eat all day and you're miserable. And then like an hour later, you're like, y'all get some dinner. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Like I didn't eat it, you know what I mean? But it's cheese balls and dips and all
yeah.
that stuff. So it's fun.
Love a good cheese ball.
Yeah, for sure. And then y'all talked about,
I
go
don't-
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
don't love a good cheese ball. That's all
You
I have to
don't?
say. It's not,
Okay.
not a
What
thing.
kind of cheese balls have you had?
All of them.
Really?
Actually, hardly any of them because
You don't like
I tried
any like
one.
savory ones even?
Well, I've had like two when I was little, and I was like never again.
Okay.
There's
So-
some really good savory ones.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
It's not worth talking about.
There is one we're talking about that my mom makes. It's like I think it's like a turtle cheese ball,
okay.
and she puts it on. You eat it on graham crackers. It's super good.
That sounds fantastic.
It's got like caramel and
Yeah,
anyway, it's great. This is a great segue because one of y'all's topics y'all brought up peanut butter pie.
Mm,
Man,
I tear it
What
down.
was it called? Buckeye pie.
Buckeye pie.
yeah, that
was
That
the
was one that no one's ever heard of.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
peanut
gotta
butter
be a
pie.
Midwest
That's
thing.
an Ohio thing.
It was
Ohio
like
State
it was-
Buckeyes.
It ended up being like
Duh.
a peanut butter pie with a brownie crust, and then like
The double chocolate cookie crust.
yes, and then like
And
something
then a
on
chocolate
top.
ganache on top.
How stupid does that sound?
Yeah, I'll
Oh
eat
my
it.
god!
See, I'm not a huge chocolate fan,
As we've now
but
figured out.
as you know, but if you add things to the chocolate, that's where I come
Yeah.
in. Like a Snickers bar, amazing. A Reese's, amazing.
Yeah, but
A
I would.
plain Hershey's bar.
That's what I'm
never.
getting at. I
No
would.
one eats plain Hershey's bars.
That's not true.
That's
That
not
is
true.
so not true. There's freaks out there who
Really?
love a Hershey
I
bar.
live with one that loves them.
Like I said,
I don't understand that.
But this is a hot take. I would not consider a Snickers bar or a Reese's cup like a chocolate candy. I know it's covered in chocolate, but that's a peanut butter candy and like a caramel peanut candy.
Snickers is my favorite candy bar. I'm not saying it's a chocolate bar; it's a candy
See,
bar.
I'm with you on the Reese's. I'm struggling with the Snickers. I
don't-
consider Snickers a chocolate bar.
I don't. I
I
consider
can go either way.
I
on it,
consider a
honestly.
Hershey's or like Hershey's with almonds or Hershey's blah blah blah.
Yeah.
$100,000.
What's a Mounds bar?
What is-
Trash.
It's it's so bad. I've never. Is that the one with coconut?
Yeah.
Never.
Doesn't,
eat-
doesn't
No.
even have the almonds. It's just Almond Joy without the almonds.
Oh no, Almond Joy. Also,
hate
I have
coconut.
a friend of mine. Love him to death. The man keeps Almond Joy in his cooler all day, every day.
Something's wrong with him.
His dad did it. His dad built houses
That's
for
the
a living
problem.
growing up. and
That's the
it's
only
just-
reason. Only reason you like Almond Joy, Mounds,
Yeah.
any of that junk is because your parents.
Yep.
Because you had weirdos for parents, and now you're a weirdo. That's just how it
what it
goes.
But peanut butter pie,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Cornbread. Y'all talking a lot about cornbread on maybe Thanksgiving episode, I
It was a
think.
Thanksgiving episode.
And it was a sweet versus savory is what I
It's
kind of
basically
broke it down
my
to.
thing is I don't like flour in my cornbread. I like 100%
Cornmeal.
cornmeal.
Okay. But do you prefer like a sweet cornbread or a savory cornbread?
Probably savory, butter, Crisco, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm somewhere in the middle, I think.
I think it just depends. I go back and forth.
I don't like a cakey cornbread.
I don't want it cakey, but I appreciate like a yellow, sweeter cornbread
Like-
sometimes. And when I say that, I'm talking about like Jiffy Mix cornbread,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. Well, I'll eat a Jiffy corn
Yeah.
muffin,
Yeah.
but if I'm making cornbread, it's going to be
It's gonna be a savory, traditional
yes.
flour lard. Got you. Mexican cornbread though.
So good. So you know what my mom figured out? I'm not saying she figured
Please
it
tell
out.
me your mom makes good Mexican cornbread because my mom makes the best Mexican
But
cornbread.
here's what she does. You would appreciate this.
Ooh,
Okay.
I gave you the double point
he's
too.
back in.
She buys a gallon jar of pickled jalapenos. Stay with me. She doesn't put a single jalapeno in there. She puts the brine,
The juice.
the juice in there, and so you get a little bit of spice, very
None of the
little,
texture.
very.
Yep.
There's no pepper.
Yeah.
Very little jalapeno taste.
Very little heat either.
Very little heat.
Right.
But it takes it over the edge.
I would try that, but I don't know how. Like, I can't say that I would like.
That's what I'm saying.
Because jalapeno, like, you know how I was with that biscuit. When I smelled it,
You were like, I'm out.
yeah, pretty much.
I
But the
think-
texture peppers is the problem.
I
all the
think
problem, so.
I think it's worth you. It's worth you trying.
I
I,
would
wouldn't
try it.
even tell you about it if it had jalapenos in it.
Yeah, I would.
You
try
could do it yourself. Just make cornbread. I wouldn't use a lot of flour because it needs to be kind of cornmealy, and then just whatever.
Splash.
Make up your thing and then just go psh, a little bit of that in there.
Yeah.
That's all you need. It's so good.
My
She's-
mom makes a Mexican cornbread that you can literally eat a slice of on a plate, and that could be your meal.
Does she put a lot of cheese in it?
Dude,
I like a good cheesy
hold your
cornbread.
seat. She makes her cornbread mix, okay? She's mixing all that up, and it's got cheese in it. Over here, she's browning ground beef with taco seasoning
Oh.
and onions.
Oh, she's taking this to another level.
And when
This-
she
this-
makes,
you even went.
it's more like casserole than
yeah,
cornbread.
she's making like a
But so
like
she,
a
when she
dressing.
pours it into the iron skillet, she fills it like halfway up with her cornbread mix that has a bunch of cheese in it. Then she puts the brown taco meat and onions in a layer, and then she covers that in Mexican style, the Mexican blend cheese, and then fills the rest of it up with cornbread. So it's almost like a cornbread taco sandwich.
Yeah, yeah.
It is delicious.
I'm gonna.
and that's my favorite cornbread. to
I'm
eat with
not
chili.
saying. Oh, God.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say something.
I go for it.
It sounds incredible. I don't know if that's cornbread.
That's cornbread.
I think it's a casserole.
It's
That
90% cornbread.
That sounds like a casserole. Because to me,
But gosh, it makes me want to eat
It
it.
sounds
delicious. Yeah. That's when my mother says she's making Mexican cornbread. That's what she's making.
I never even heard of Mexican cornbread, but that makes me want to try it.
Well, it's got
Yeah.
typically Mexican cornbread has jalapenos in it, so you would be out.
Typically all it is you're putting like
Peppers and
a
onions.
can of Rotel basically
Basically.
into cornbread
I
mix.
prefer her way.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Ham. You say you hate ham? Like
Hate
hate it.
Stupid.
It's
It's there.
middle of the road
It's
for me.
it's the mid protein.
I put super mid
Yeah.
next to it.
So we're gonna wrap up pretty soon.
Yeah, I only have
What,
one more thing.
So this shocked me. I assume it's gonna shock y'all.
Okay.
I was with our students, shout out students, and I was talking about how I hate ham, as I do, because they love to hate on the fact that I hate ham, which
Of
is great.
course.
It's a great little back and forth.
Yeah.
I said, guys, the good news here is that we all agree that bologna is gross. And they were like, "Nuh-uh, sir." They said bologna's fantastic. I said,
This country.
"You bunch of rich kid Madison folks,
Don't know
telling
nothing
me
about bologna.
you're telling me that y'all like bologna." And they're like, "We love bologna." And I mean, it was probably 2/3 of the group were like, "Bologna's where it's at."
That generation loves TikTok, and it's made mostly of bologna.
Okay.
There he is.
I
grew up eating bologna.
did not. I can't stand bologna.
If you gave me a bologna sandwich right now,
How do you feel about the restaurants that sell like fried bologna?
My grandmother used to cook bologna for breakfast all the time, and it was fried bologna and
Yeah.
eggs. She cooked all the time. The only bologna I think I would eat current is barbecue bologna.
That's more of what I'm talking
If you've
about.
never had like a grilled or barbecued bologna, I think it'd change your mind on it.
I think I had bologna once as a kid, and it was horrible.
It was horrible.
I never did it again.
That's fair.
Because most of us, you start off with Oscar Mayer
Yeah.
deli bologna, and you're like, "What is this garbage?"
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
But all of our kids like it. These Gen Z.
kids. Desserts. Did y'all do a whole dessert episode?
Probably.
No, there were just a lot of desserts in the
At the Thanksgiving one. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Apple pie was brought up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of apple pie?
Not really.
Are you a fan of apple pie?
It was decent to me.
Yeah,
I thought it was fine.
But I don't like hot fruit. Is what I was getting at. Like I don't
That's
like
what-
cobblers.
Yeah, the only way I'm eating a apple pie is if it is warm and it's got ice cream on it.
Yeah.
But it's more for
Yeah, that's
the
what we
ice
decided
cream.
was
yeah.
because apple pie and a la mode apple pie were both on the list. And we were
Yeah.
just like
A la
apple pie
mode
is hard
anything.
pass.
Yeah, a la
Yeah.
mode makes anyway.
Are you cheese on apple
cheese-
pie?
Cheese? Get out of here.
But
Heck
have you
no.
heard of that?
Yes.
And it the worst. Like
horrible.
it's the worst.
Terrible.
Yeah.
No way.
I've
I
never tried
won't
it, and I never will.
I won't say it's terrible just because I've never tried it, but I'm never gonna try it.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna try it.
Yeah.
No, I'm out. This is my humble opinion on. It's not humble at all, but on desserts as a whole, there's you a short reel clip
Yeah,
you can
I'll take
use. Cheesecake is my number one S tier gold top dessert.
Was that Tyler's favorite? We talked to someone that like cheesecake was their favorite. didn't we?
cheesecake is my thing, dude.
Maybe I may have been
love
talking to Nick when we talked.
Yeah.
I talked to someone that was like cheesecake. I love a cheesecake.
Love it.
But if there's like cheesecake and something else,
cheesecake.
I'm probably not eating cheesecake.
I am.
Like when I go to a restaurant, I'm never ordering cheesecake.
I'm always ordering.
See, that's
cheesecake.
what I'm saying though.
Cheesecake's always good.
Yep.
But you can always get cheesecake. That's my thing.
Oh, that wasn't where I was going.
I can get down with that, but here's why I think I love cheesecake. One, we've established I'm not a chocolate person, so that kicks out a lot of desserts
Yeah.
typically.
Which for Elsies, if there's brownies a la mode in any iteration, that's what we're getting.
Yeah.
I will eat brownies, but you can like set a pan of brownies in my kitchen, and like in 3 days, I'll eat one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Whereas most folks, they don't make it through a night.
right.
Cheesecake to me, whether we're talking about the best cheesecake I've ever had, which is probably at Tico's Steakhouse. At
Tico's is
one
good.
point in time, they had a special. It was a Snickers cheesecake,
Mm.
and it was cheesecake, your traditional cheesecake. It had caramel and chocolate, and then it had Snickers crushed all over top of it. It was amazing. But if we're talking about my favorite cheesecake or the sample pack of cheesecake you can buy at Sam's,
The little
I will
bite size?
equally destroy both of them.
Yeah.
So that's why I like cheesecake so much.
Yeah, and that's my thing is that cheesecake can be elevated to a point to where it's like it's S tier.
Yeah.
But I feel like whenever there is any kind of meal where it's like a potluck or like a holiday meal,
Mhm.
there's gonna be cheesecake there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the dessert constant. So and with dessert, I typically will go for something that I haven't had before.
That you haven't had before. Whereas I'm the guy that looks at the 15 desserts on the table and I'm like, cheesecake every time.
Yeah.
Just me. I have 2 more notes. That's it,
You're great.
and I'm done.
I shouldn't have rushed you by saying we're
You're not
finishing up
rushing
soon.
me, and I skipped one, but I don't because I can't remember my context. I'll bring it up and see if it goes anywhere at the end.
Yeah.
Stuffing. Y'all kept saying stuffing,
It's dressing.
and I was about to blow a gasket Because stuffing is some sweet, nasty Yankee crap that they put on the table at Thanksgiving.
Here we go.
Dressing is
Why
what
were we saying stuffing?
I
Y'all
don't know.
just got.
I think
it might have been on the list or
It was
something.
probably written somewhere, and we just got
Yeah,
into it.
I tend to say them interchangeably,
but they're
And,
not.
Yeah, they're not.
Charlotte Ferris will tell you that they are not, because she's from Illinois, and I think it's her mom makes stuffing,
Yeah,
and she kind of does both, but
yeah.
she'll tell you they're very different.
I'm a dressing person.
Yeah.
Big time dressing person.
My father-in-law was talking about how his favorite dressing has a bunch of meat in it. And then in a different context completely, I had dressing that had little bits of, I think it was turkey in it.
Mm.
And I was like, I could get down with some of this.
See, my mom's mom made hers with chicken in it, like rotisserie chicken in her dressing.
And that may have been what this was.
And
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
it was good. Anyway, dressing person. And then to crush Steven's heart with my last thought,
I'm ready.
I have never seen, this is from the speed run, I have never seen a single second of a Lord of the Rings movie.
It doesn't crush my heart.
I
That
thought it
actually lifts my heart because I know that now.
You think you can win me over
I don't think I can win you over
to the
but,
cult
but
or
I-
movement?
You would enjoy it.
you get to experience it for the first time.
Here,
I don't know if I'd enjoy it.
What,
Well,
what,
we-
what
hold
movie-
on.
What
Well-
kind of movies do you like?
no, hold on. I have one little thing, and then we'll get into it.
Okay.
I've considered lately, and it probably because we've talked about it so much, figuring out how to rent or buy the extended editions and do a full rewatch.
Just ask me. I've got them. Come on.
I knew you had them. I was wondering if you think if I bought them or rent them off of Amazon, they'd have the extended edition. Or it'd probably just be the normal edition.
He's got them. What's it matter?
I've got the like the
I
thick
know,
box
I
for
The
know.
collectors.
you can
set.
get extended, you can get non-extended. Controversial opinion. Return of the King. Don't watch it extended for your first watch.
Well, it's not my first watch.
I know.
But I really enjoy the extended
The
edition.
extendeds are great, but I think Return of the King adds some scenes that spoil certain events happening. Like it kind of ruins the flow.
Yeah.
I think the rest of them extended all the way.
Now,
Return of the
continue.
King, yeah.
There's always three things that get brought up on the podcast too, as the number one fan.
Yeah.
Logan's in-laws always get dogged
Always.
out at some point.
Always.
Dogs always get brought up,
Absolutely.
and Lord of the Rings always
Lord of
gets
the
brought up.
Yep.
And
I
I
knew-
have opinions on the first two because I know Logan's in-laws.
Yeah.
I love dogs. I got nothing on Lord of the Rings.
I didn't know that the in-law thing was the thing. It's a blind spot for me. But
It's consistent.
it's pretty
great.
funny. It's funny.
Especially if you talk about how they have house rules with certain games.
Yeah.
And
You've brought that up probably
Ticks
3
me
times.
off. Let's talk about it right now.
what game is it?
Dominoes.
Dominoes?
It's just part. A lot
You
of
just grew up playing differently.
well, a lot of it is because
He was trained by like old men that created the game.
yes, Jamaica.
In Jamaica.
Yeah.
But with the in-law thing, it's and like when we were in premarital counseling, we had this is the main thing that we talked about is our upbringings were very similar in some ways and astronomically different in
Yeah.
other ways.
Same for
And so like there and we talk about it all the time, like me in the halls or like we just talk about how like it's so funny that Megan for most of her life grew up in Madison and I grew up my entire life in Madison, but just the way that we think about things and do things and traditions are just so
So
different.
Yeah.
even though y'all were 5 miles apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lord of the Rings, it's worth watching. I'm not saying you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it. I think it's worth it.
You ask what kind of movies I like.
Yeah.
I'm the
You're the one that said that Marvel movies can't be beat by Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler
Yeah,
90s
Which is
movies.
still a great
Yeah, a
take.
great take.
Yeah.
I'm like the most. I mean, I don't know how to even. I can't think of the words. Like I know very little to nothing about books and movies.
Yeah.
I'm not a movie buff by any means. I like a good movie. I've seen quite a few, but like if there's trivia night and one of the topics is movie, you don't want me on your team. Actors, actresses, directors, soundtrack. I'm the last guy you want there. I might could name 5 actors.
But
and
Lord of the
actresses.
Rings, I think, is like Harry Potter in this way that
Careful.
you can watch, you can have
Sound
a
like
very
fighting
good
words.
viewing experience having never touched the books.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The-
How many movies are there?
3.
Okay.
The Hobbit.
Harry Potter has way more.
Yeah, it's like 8.
They made 3 movies for The Hobbit when it's the shortest book, and it really did. You could have made.
They just have the biggest attraction or something.
Well,
Well, the
it was-
Hobbit.
it was
was
a
it a
big
money grab?
It was a money
pretty
grab.
much.
Yeah.
It was a big thing around that time to stretch out.
I got you.
But with Hobbit, you could have done a thorough adaptation with 2 movies.
And
Easily.
this,
So there's only 3 movies.
yeah.
3 Lord of the Rings movies, yes.
People
And then
don't
the
consider
Hobbits-
they don't consider the Hobbit part of the
We
trilogy.
don't talk about the Hobbit.
Okay, that's fine.
Here's a hot take, and I probably need to do another reread of Lord of the Rings, but I enjoyed reading the Hobbit more than the Lord of the Rings.
The
I
Hobbit
re-
is a fantastic
I
read.
really enjoyed the Hobbit.
Yeah. It's
I
a
wish
great
I
read.
read a quarter as much as y'all.
I
should get. I'm trying. It is one of my goal for one of my resolutions, if you will, for 2024.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start. I'm in the truck a lot. Like I've driven 20,000 miles in the past 6 months.
Yeah.
So I'm fixing to get on the audiobook train pretty
Dude.
hard. So
Uh,
I'll probably be hitting both of you up for
listen-
suggestions.
So it's in 21 hours.
No,
No.
if you like it, and this is one where you can either love it or not like it. If you like Harry Potter,
Mhm.
the audiobook Harry Potters are
Well,
incredible.
See, I think I was in 3rd grade when the first Harry Potter book came out.
Yeah, that's probably about the time.
And I listened to it. I think I listened to the first 3 on
Like when you were in elementary school.
yes,
Okay.
on I
They've obviously redone them since.
we
then.
drove like 45 minutes one way. I did to school like my whole life. So
Mhm.
and we could do book reports on Harry Potter books. And they were broken into like you could do a book report on the first 6 chapters, and then the next because since it was such a long book for
Yeah.
a 4th grader, 3rd
Yeah.
or 4th
Right.
grader. So anyway, we listened to them. My mother and I listened to them on the way back
Mhm.
before school. So I've listened to all the Harry Potter books, and I've almost watched all the Harry Potter movies. But
Yeah.
I'm not against Lord of the Rings. It's just
Do you-
everyone that's for it is like
Do you like the Harry Potter movies?
the movies.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're good.
I think you'd like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, it can feel very deep or dense at times
Yeah.
because there's just a lot of lore.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of just Christian allegory and
Mhm.
symbolism there because it's Tolkien and
Yeah.
Lewis helped him write
Right.
Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
What?
Can finish.
Yeah.
I'm going to change the subject.
But they're a great watch. There's a lot of great, just it's a great story.
Yeah.
And there's a great character.
It's a
timeless
great
characters.
storyline, great characters.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard everyone. I've heard y'all talk about it and other people talk about it.
And
I
like,
just never watched
and
it.
I acknowledge that my bias is very largely because like there was a running joke that I think Tyler Holden actually came up with is that if you're public schooled, you're a Harry Potter fan. If you're homeschooled, you're a Lord of the Rings fan.
Well, oh yeah, that's a good joke.
Which that's absolutely my story.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to watch Harry Potter or read it. But
See, now the crazy thing that's going around, and I hate to cut you off,
No,
but
you're
all
good.
like the short form video stuff is like, it's people our age, I mean, we're all 30,
Mhm.
early 30s. They're like, when we were growing up, if you were homeschooled, you were weird. And now kids in public school are identifying as barn animals. So who's the weirdos now? Which is true. Sad, but true.
I like to think I came out fairly unscathed as a
You're-
homeschooler.
you seem normal
Thanks, I appreciate that.
But
for what it's worth.
the problem is that there was obviously a spectrum in public school.
Yeah.
But the problem was if you were on the crazy end or the weird end of the spectrum, you just got bullied until you got out of that spectrum.
Until you,
The homeschool spectrum, you could just go.
There was
off-
no stopping you.
You could go
Yeah.
off the rails.
There was no one to bully you.
your parents loved you either way.
And so that's why that's the problem is all the homeschoolers got ruined by that family where it was
Yep.
like, oh my gosh,
Right.
like holy
Yeah.
smokes.
Yep.
Anyway,
Feel good about things?
that's my notes.
I thought
How
it was
does
fun.
How does it feel
How does it feel?
to be the new record for longest podcast?
I
episode?
feel like my next podcast appearance should probably be on Joe Rogan. If I could go 2+ hours, I'm qualified. right?
you have I
Probably
think
2.5.
2 hours 9 minutes is where we're at. I think.
Yeah.
Pretty
No
good.
big
So
deal.
right at 2
We
hours once
cruised.
you cut the first few minutes out. Yeah.
Well, I already did.
Oh, gotcha.
So
We
we're
cru-
we're 220 right now.
We cruised.
Yeah.
There was no issue.
Yeah.
I never felt like that slowed down at all.
No, I'm good.
What was your thing about Canes?
Does
Yeah, you never brought that.
does
Thank you.
does anybody order the sandwich at Cane's?
I have gotten it one time.
I've gotten it
I've
one
also
time
gotten
as
it
well.
one time.
I got it one time because I thought,
Sure.
Try something
Nostalgia.
new. It's the
Let's
only other
try
thing.
it.
Yeah.
I realized it was 3 tenders between a bun,
Yep.
Yes.
and I was like, I'd rather have the Caniac combo every time.
Let down was the sandwich for me.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Cane's. I love Cane's. I know you that was not a big fan of Cane's.
No,
sauce?
he's not a big fan.
It's not that I'm not a big fan. It's
Okay.
just that I prefer the chicken places that have more of a menu. Cane's is good.
I
Like,
am.
if I
Yeah,
wanna-
but I think when sauce got brought up, you say you picked Chick-fil-A sauce over Cane's
Absolutely.
sauce. No.
Absolutely.
Heck no.
Mm.
Heck no.
I do lean more towards Zach sauce these days, and it's because I like spicy Zach sauce.
That's fine.
But we're splitting hairs here. I mean, cane
Cane's
sauce is
so
fantastic.
good. And those
I think,
crinkle
and
cut
I've
fries.
said this from
I'm
the
not a crinkle cut guy.
I've said
Only
this
there.
from the beginning. I've said it from the beginning. If Cane's they're from Louisiana. If they would just season those fries a little bit,
Yeah.
it'd be you could not touch Cane's.
Could you imagine if when them fries came out, they just hit them with a little bit of Tony Shack?
That's what I'm saying.
Just hit little Tonys on them.
Raising Cane's is based out of Baton Rouge. You're telling me?
Somewhere like that, yeah.
No, it is. I've checked.
Is it?
Yeah.
I know they're the official chicken finger of the New Orleans Saints.
You're telling me that you can't. You're
course.
telling me that those people can't just go fries. Psh, wada.
yeah,
You couldn't touch Cane's. If
I'm
you
with
did
you
that.
on
I
that.
forgot to mention that my mac and cheese recipe did have Tony's in it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Got to put Tony's in it.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
We're gonna have to throw some recipes around here.
Any last thoughts?
Yeah.
You normally ask me that.
I
figured
feel
I'd try
like-
I
it.
like the,
Yeah.
the
I-
change of pace.
Yeah.
I was about to say I feel like the Raising Cane's sandwich is overrated, but I don't think that's the case because I don't think anyone eats the
It's just
sandwich.
there. It's just there.
I would love to hear someone
Argue for the sandwich.
not even argue for it, but just say that I really like it and I order it regularly.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's
I don't
one
think
out
there's
there.
a single
Did
one.
they not put any other condiments on it? Is it literally just the strips on a bun?
Well, they put cane sauce on it.
Yeah.
But like no cheese, lettuce, tomato? or anything?
Mm-mm.
I've gotten it once, but I couldn't remember.
If you want a sandwich at Cane's, just ask for extra garlic
Extra,
toast
yes.
and
Yeah.
make,
Make it
your
yourself.
own sandwich.
Make a little like
It's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Any last thoughts? Any last thoughts?
You know, do you have any last thoughts?
I do.
Okay.
Always.
What's your last thought? Only one last thought.
The early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse always gets the cheese.